This is Metro News Hotline, presented by Salango Law. Metro News Hotline is a 3-hour audio tour navigating the world of sports, news, entertainment, tech, and more from a Mountain State point of view. For your entertainment, Hotline is a no politics zone. You can join the conversation. Text the show at 304-825-5304. 304-TALK-304. Or call 800-765-8255. Here's the host for Metro News Hotline, Dave Weekley.
All right. Hello, West Virginia. We're back for more in the 304. Time to get it done in the 681. Time to start this 3-hour audio tour for Wednesday, March 4th, 2026. Metro News Hotline, oh yeah, comes to you from the Salango Law Studios. Visit salangolaw.com. Coop coming on the air today, feeling a little Jack Hamish out there, 59 degrees.
Did you say ham sandwich?
Yeah, well, I could use a ham sandwich.
I'm a little hungry. Yeah,
I know what you mean, man.
That.
Spring's on the way. Spring's on the way.
It's got to be getting here.
Yeah.
But I know that these temperatures seem warmer, but it doesn't feel that warm outside.
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
Agreed.
It's like I looked out there today. I was like, do I want to go take a walk? I was like, nah, I don't think so.
Did you say it was going to be 80 degrees
I
later
think
this week?
I think Friday and Saturday we have in the Charleston area anyway. We have the potential to set records for temperature.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I better get a cold schedule for next week. You know, 'cause that's the kind of thing, right?
Nice.
You get out there, hey. You know what's funny? This weekend I was walking around South Charleston and I passed a guy who was wearing wearing jeans, not shorts, just jeans, and walking around with no shirt on. And I'm thinking, that's the guy who's going to. There's your candidate for the flu.
Yeah,
right there.
yeah.
You know,
I sometimes wonder the folks that get caught with their winter jacket on and suddenly it's an 80-degree day. And then, they're walking around with their winter jacket on. I'm like, man, that's tough sometimes.
Hey, man, for those of you out there who are watching us on YouTube, we're now officially allowed to talk about that, right?
Yeah, I think I don't know that we hadn't been, but yeah.
Okay.
It's the Metro News TV channel.
I mentioned it one time, and then suddenly I was getting text messages like, don't do that.
Yeah. But I think it's the Metro News TV channel. It's the same thing you get on the app. It's just
cool.
It's also available on YouTube, so it's the same thing.
Okay. So what do I do? Do I go to the YouTube and type in Coop's Place, or
I think you could probably get away with typing either of our names, but
really?
But for me, I still have that Twin Peaks barrier. Unless you're a fan, I wouldn't recommend it.
That's right.
I wouldn't recommend it. Not famous enough to overcome Twin Peaks, Dale Cooper. But Dave Weekley certainly comes up, and Hotline
it does?
Oh yes, and Hotline will definitely come up. So
does it come up me, or
Hotline.
does it come up the guy who sells the houses in Texas?
I'm thinking. Here's the thing: is I'm logged in when I searched, and so. My cookies probably has it steered towards looking for our show, so I'd have to log out and check to make sure on that. But it came right up for me. I just searched the show. And
if you're on the interwebs and you have YouTube, just go there and in the search thing, click in Metro News, and you'll find us.
Yeah,
right?
and we roll shorts up there, so there's little short features that's going to be up there. All of our main shows that we podcast, as well as the stuff that we have that's just podcast. It's basically a mirror of what's on the app. So if you have the app, but sometimes you forget to bring it up, or maybe you on a device where you don't have the app, or heck, maybe you're just on YouTube more often than anything else, click on over there.
So until we can officially talk about this, which is officially now, have we sort of been on the dark web for a few weeks? Only the really, really cool people knew to go over there to find our stuff?
I think that like with everything, when you first started doing it, you have kind of a beta launch with it. You just want to make sure that all the wires are plugged in and stuff like that. Okay. So I think that it's been out long enough now where we're pretty confident.
Did we have to make any cutbacks or anything like that because we needed more money to get on the internet?
I think we just shrunk Stephanie's box is all.
Is Stephanie back there?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Well,
I think we're shrinking her box right now.
Okay, if she calls in, we'll know that she's still alive.
I think she's listening, though.
I know.
I think she sent me a message, I think she's listening.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. The lights are different. I feel like I'm in a totally new location. That's Stephanie. Pick up the phone because she'll be able to tell us how things are working.
So now she's calling on days where she's not in the box.
No, she's back there, man. Stephanie, you're in the box.
She is.
I'm in the box, but I'm not working.
You're
working, but I'm not.
You're evaluating in the box.
Posting the show.
Okay.
Evaluating the box.
Okay. So how do we know how to reset all these lights when you're not around, Stephanie?
Yeah, I'll write instructions.
Okay. I'll be sure to tell Coop to follow them because I won't be able to do this. Coop, I'm going to have to take I'll take a picture of how the lights are supposed to be set up.
And the lights are very good. I mean, they look very good. They're very flattering for you. If there was any question about your ethnicity before, there's not any longer.
Yeah, if you didn't know I was the whitest white person ever, now the secret is out. Hey, remember the day we left these lights on accidentally and we turned this into a sauna?
I thought Chris Lawrence was going to encapsulate us in the biggest bear hug the next day.
You know how after 13 years on the air, here's how you know we've made it on YouTube when we have like a snarky conversation about our show that doesn't include us in the chat.
Oh yes,
okay,
right.
that'll
there
be
we
good.
go.
Like,
what
is he talking about?
We expect 180 to show up there strong. Help
Coop,
us out.
Coop needs a haircut in there. What?
Well, you can also talk about, we're actually live on Facebook Live and YouTube Live.
Oh.
So you can talk about both of them.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's good.
I didn't even know about the Facebook thing. We're on Facebook,
We're on Facebook, the Book of Face.
Man.
We're on.
We're on the Book of Face.
Oh, man, we're on all the
I wonder if Zuck watches.
And the tube of you.
The tube of me. That's exactly
I wonder if Zuck watches. I bet he does.
Man, I'm trying to be positive, Coop.
About what?
Well, man, because we're here for 3 hours together. Now, have you seen today's lineup? We're packed.
Oh, we're absolutely
packed, man.
Yeah, there's no
this is
doubt.
like the only time in the show where we chop out a little bit of time where we can kind of spread out, just see how Stephanie's doing. I can ask you about your walk. Now, you didn't take a walk today, did you?
I didn't. I've been busy this week, too, on top of everything else.
I know, the whole YouTube thing and the lights.
No, it's my time of year. This is my sort of my pre-spring cleaning time of year for my stations and stuff.
Oh,
so
really?
You start hearing some new things, and some things sound a little different and cleaned up a little bit. Some things look a little different.
Clean up time.
Clean things up a little bit.
All right, that's fair. Man, that WVU basketball game last night. Why do I do this to myself?
It looked painful from afar.
Why? Yeah, I know. I didn't. I watched. I want to say I watched 75% of the game because I forgot the game was on at the beginning.
Once again, I don't mean to blame you for everything bad that happens to West Virginia sports, but once again, you're in here yesterday. You're like, it would be a catastrophe if they lose this game. An absolute catastrophe. But if they win, not that big of a deal. Doesn't really help them much. But if they lose, a catastrophe. And I'm sitting here thinking, man, if anything was ever set up for a loss, Dave is setting this one up pretty darn well.
On the bright side, at least people have stopped blaming me for the Utah game.
Yeah, well,
right?
Recency bias, yes.
So there's that. But I mean,
We should have had a knock on wood after he said it was going to be a catastrophe.
Yeah.
Well, they got rid of all of our wood.
Yeah.
So there's none left in the studios.
Whatever we've got that passes for wood.
But I forgot about the game for about the first half an hour. I had a nice dinner last night, and Linda and I were talking, and suddenly I remembered, oh, man, they're playing a game. So I watched about 75% of the game last night. Coop, I don't know what to tell you about these guys. You're 30 games in. You're 30 games in.
Yeah, you kind of know what you got, I guess.
You are what you are at this point. But I'll tell you what, it was such a crazy game. If that game had gone on one more minute, West Virginia was going to win that game. I mean, K-State was doing things in that game that were just unbelievable. They had a stretch of like 5 or 6 minutes where they couldn't do anything right. They couldn't dribble. They were throwing a ball all over the place. They had a timeout last night where it was like, the interim coach gets them all together. It's like, okay, you guys, we've lost every time we get in a close game like situation like this, we blow it. But tonight we're not going to blow it. So I want to make sure we get the ball put in bounds. And what's the guy do? He tries to throw like an 80-foot pass, and WVU gets the ball back, and they immediately score. Coop, literally, if this game goes one more minute, West Virginia wins the game last night. Oh, and what about the crowd? Well, there wasn't one.
Oh.
What a dichotomy. West Virginia played BYU at home last weekend. Man, you couldn't have got another person in there with a shoehorn. I mean, it was absolutely packed. Last night, you're a K-State fan? That's your kind of game, man. There's probably like 50 people at the game, and there's no traffic. I mean, you're leaving that game with a win, and you're stopping at the Taco Bell. There's no line. I mean, it's just incredible.
People were coming to the game to avoid traffic last night.
I don't even know if the people who were in the arena were there to even see the game. I mean, maybe they were.
There was like a conference next door.
Or they were maybe
wandered
setting
over.
up for a gymnastics meet or something. It was crazy. And watching the game on ESPN Plus, this is always fun. they kept taking pictures of the same group of people together who were fans.
Because they were the fans. Yeah, right. Yeah,
they kept taking a picture of the student section, and which had about like 15 people in it, and then maybe like 10 cheerleaders, and that was basically it.
Can I just get out, make the official declaration that I'm very happy that they're still just showing the same fan over and over again. And but let me finish that. And they're not creating fans with using like AI or something now to keep that from being a look. Because I fear that something like that might be coming down the line somewhere. Like they don't want to show the empty seats.
Here's the thing.
Leaders with 3 arms, and then there'd be 2 heads on a guy, so AI really wasn't working at the
Yeah, you're right about that. Here's the thing. I'm a fan too, right? I want them to win these games, and I'm suffering through these games. And then when the game's over, I'm thinking, man, I wish I had those 2 hours back. But, Coop, the season's going to be over next week, and we're going to miss it. I mean, the moment it's over, we're going to miss it. Basketball's going to be gone. So anyway, that was not good last night. That was not good. Man, K-State, interim coach, no fans, their best player scratches like 90 minutes before the game. That was the thing I was thinking about when I first turned on the game. I'm like, where's Haggerty? He scratched like 90 minutes before the game. My first thought was, how does this affect me? Did I miss this like major story? Because we did like 2 segments on this game yesterday in the show. No, they scratched him like an hour and a half before tip-off. So somehow the band of whatever K-State is managed to beat West Virginia. They had absolutely no reason to do anything but phone that game in, and WVU had absolutely everything to play for.
That's right.
It's really kind of a rough one, man. It was a rough one last night. Okay, that's the one negative story. The other negative story is, Coop, I didn't even know if you were going to make it in today because of the Hunter Greene story.
Don't even get me started.
So we're going to talk about it in detail at 5 o'clock. So Hunter Greene needs an MRI. He is apparently hurt. Okay, I mean they wouldn't be giving the kid. Well, he's a grown man now. He wouldn't be getting an MRI unless there was something really wrong with the elbow. So you've been a Reds fan forever. So what's your immediate reaction to this? Is he gonna miss the season? Is he gonna need surgery? What are we looking at here?
I have no idea. Yeah, I don't have any inside information as far as that goes.
But was this a surprise? I mean, we were basically hearing that he's working on a new fastball and everything's champagne and roses, and now suddenly this story today.
Yeah.
The interview said he was hurting at the end of last season.
Yeah, I know. I read that too, and part of this is I cover because with my relationship with WCHS and the Reds.
Sure.
We get a lot of information for the Reds, but the Reds are notoriously tight-lipped about stuff like this to the point where you really wonder what service they're doing for the club, the fans, or anybody else, because this isn't the first time that there's been like some secret injury that it has lasted for an entire offseason that suddenly is still relevant when you start the next season and you're hearing about it for the first time. I guess it's their business, but it just seems really foolish when this stuff starts rolling out. And, I mean, this is 2 of the last 3 years I think we've had a story like this that's happened with one of their players.
The thing that's really concerning is the Hunter Greene problem last year had to do with his groin.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
So that was not an arm problem.
Right.
But here is a quote from him today talking about the injury. Quote, I had this toward the end of the season last year in my final 5 or 6 starts. I had elbow discomfort. It was a playoff push, so I pushed through it. I felt fine in the offseason. I got an injection about a week before spring training started. The discomfort came back. I've been managing it through camp so far. We're going to check it and get it looked at. It makes sense to do it now. I know I have bone spurs. Okay, so obviously he knows a little bit about that. He's got bone spurs in the elbow, but as of now, there's no UCL damage. Now, that in it, unquote, that in itself is pretty good news, right? Is that the way you're reading it?
Yeah, that's what your hope is. But again, the mystification and the obfuscation, now that's from Hunter and not the club, but
right.
The Reds are not ever forthcoming on this stuff.
Yeah, so Krall, I guess, in Francona did discuss it today in Goodyear, and when we get those clips, we'll play those. And Will Carroll, our sports injury expert, is coming on the show at 5 o'clock. He knows more about baseball injuries than anybody I know. So, and he's pretty tight with the Reds. So we'll get more on that. Here's the other question. He was asked, "What is your status for the beginning of the season?" And his response to that was, "I don't know. I'm not sure. Other way, I'm looking forward to," and then it drifts off. "If something has to be done, it's early. We can get it out of the way quick, and we can have the big chunk of the season. If we have a playoff push, I'll be ready to go," unquote. Let me get Jeff Jenkins. He's a Reds guy on this as well. Jeff, if Hunter Greene can't go to start the season, from a positive perspective, isn't this the one area of the club where they could probably afford to take an injury? Because their starting pitching depth is pretty good, and the young arms in camp have looked good.
It's very good, but you never have enough pitching, right? So you can say that for sure. And if you lose Hunter Greene, I mean that's a big blow.
Sure it is.
I mean, you're going to substitute. I mean, Chase Burns has great upside, great ceiling, but you remember Hunter Greene 4 or 5 years ago, right? I mean, so you trade out that experience. My initial thought is see you in June, because that's the way these things go. See you in June, and so they're going to have to make go with Rhett Lauder, which has got great upside,
and he's looked great in spring.
He has, and Burns, Brandon Williamson, but he's coming back from an arm issue. They did ask Krall today if they were going to go on the free agent market and look for a starting pitcher. His answer was a quick no.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, too, when you're a small market team, and where's he rank in terms of the guys on the club now in terms of the highest paid player? Is he their highest paid player?
No, he did not take when he signed. No, Suarez.
Gino's
Suarez.
Okay, all right.
Oh,
there you go, by far. Yeah, but Suarez's deal is really, really short. I mean, but how many more years does Greene in a contract?
I think 2 more years.
Anyway, when you're a small market team, you can't really afford to miss on these kind of deals. So that's the news about Hunter Greene, and we will be following that situation today. And as I said, Will Carroll, our sports injury expert, is going to be talking a little bit more about this at 5 o'clock. My initial reaction is, if he does have bone chips in the elbow, I just wonder, did they consider doing some kind of procedure in the off season? Why are we finding out about this now? There's some questions. So we'll get into it. All right, question of the day. It's that time of the year to start thinking about this. Daylight saving time. Daylight saving time is this weekend. And I don't know if you know this or not, British Columbia has permanently decided to adopt daylight saving time starting this weekend. So British Columbia, once we hit this weekend, they're not going back. They are not going back. They are going to call this Pacific time from November to March. BC time will match Alberta and the Mountain Time zones, placing it 1 hour ahead of Washington, Oregon, and California. So British Columbia is permanently adopting daylight saving time starting this weekend. So here's the question of the day, and it's sponsored by Salango Law. What's your reaction to the news that British Columbia will permanently adopt daylight saving time starting this weekend? And how do time changes impact your body and attitude? What's your reaction to the news that British Columbia will permanently adopt daylight saving time starting this weekend? And how do time changes impact your body and attitude? To respond, text those in, 304-TALK, 304-825-5304. Tweet me, I'm on Exit Weekly, WEEKLEY. All right, Jeff, what we got in the news today? What's going on?
Well, we've got a plethora, Dave. Can I say that? A plethora of legislative stories, because a lot of bills are being passed today, particularly in the House of Delegates, because this is crossover day, right? 10 days until the end of the session. So you have to get a bill that started on your side out of your side by today if it is going to survive the last 10 days. So there's a lot of bills that have passed. And Brad McElhaney, our statewide correspondent, has a lot of stories. You can see stories there at the website about the funding formula, the state school aid funding formula. A bill passed the House there today. There's also a story there at the website about a work zone safety bill that passed, basically just raising the fines if you're caught speeding in the work zone. And so that's one. There's about 10 stories there from the website about action that's been taking place. And the lead story is about a bill that is not going to be passed for a procedural reason. So you can read that also at the website.
Jeff, thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate that. We'll take a quick break. We're coming back with more in just a moment. Stay tuned.
West Virginia Outdoors is the Mountain State's only hook and bullet radio show, dedicated to the more than 250,000 hunters and anglers across the state. Award-winning host Chris Lawrence has been tracking down hunting and fishing stories for more than 25 years.
I shot him. He ran over to the edge of the field. He made it about 5-10 yards out of the edge of the field and fell over there.
West Virginia Outdoors covers it all. Saturday mornings at 7:06 a.m. on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Ask yourself what you will miss more, your children or cigarettes. As long as I can remember, my mother smoked. She died from lung cancer when I was 16. I could not take the chance of continuing smoking and not being here for my daughter. I know how much I needed my mom still, and I didn't realize it until I had lost her.
You're not just quitting for yourself. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
After my wife died, I felt like I lost everything, including my love of fishing. But one day, my granddaughter called, and I realized I still had a lot to look forward to. I got referred to a psychiatrist who explained depression can happen to anyone. Getting help doesn't make me weak. It makes me stronger. I just wish it made me better at fishing.
Mental health care is working for Diego. See what it can do for you at mentalhealthcareworks.org. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
Listen, I'm a West Virginian through and through. Grew up in Bridgeport, 35 years in the Charleston area. Rooted for the Mountaineers since, well, let's not talk ages. You won't find a bigger fan of our teams, but they get called out when they deserve it. Metro News Hotline is the same for everything. Movies, music, local happenings, my inside knowledge, and occasional rants. Meet Coop's sharp humor, guaranteed to spark good talk radio. Think you can keep up? We're your afternoon anecdote to the ordinary on weekdays 3 to 6 on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
When your car is making a strange noise, no matter what it is, you can't just pretend it's not happening.
That's an interesting sound.
It's like your mental health. If you're struggling and feeling overwhelmed, it's important to do something about it. It can be as simple as talking to someone in your community, or just taking a deep, calming breath when you need it. Nice. For mental health resources, check out loveyourmindtoday.org. At loveyourmindtoday.org, you'll find information that may help you get through a tough time. Things like tips for dealing with stress, how to navigate difficulties like financial worries, anger, substance use, and more. You can also find real stories of how people navigated their own mental health challenges. Because once you start to address the problem, you can go so much further. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
No young person should ever have to worry about having a safe place to sleep at night, or whether anyone cares about them.
But the reality is, 1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year.
For over 50 years, Covenant House has been helping youth in crisis and giving them the support and tools they need to succeed in life. To learn more, go to covenanthouse.org today. Thank you for caring.
This is Hotline, presented by Salango Law on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Jeff Jenkins. The House of Delegates passing a bill today that changes the state school aid funding formula. The changes that would come in the form of block grants per student would not go into effect for 3 years. The House did pass an amendment that would help smaller school districts retain funding of the previous year. Mineral County Delegate Gary Howe.
It gives county stability while the new formula is implemented. And members, today it is these 9 counties. Tomorrow it could be others. As enrollment shifts and the formula adjusts, other counties could find themselves losing in the end.
That's just one of several bills headed to the state Senate from the House on this crossover day. The House also passed a bill to regulate crypto kiosks to guard against fraud. Wood County Delegate Bob Fehrenbacher.
There is a tremendous abuse of these to, frankly, perpetrate fraud scams targeting seniors.
The state Senate also passing several bills today and forwarding those to the House of Delegates. We've got several bills in story form right now at WVMetroNews.com. Former West Virginia State Senator Richard Ojeda has won a Democratic Party primary in the state of North Carolina. Ojeda beat out two opponents in that state's 9th congressional district. He'll face off against Republican incumbent Richard Hudson for a U.S. House seat. Ojeda served in the West Virginia Senate from Logan County from 2016 to 2019. You're listening to Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.
Managing your money and planning for the future can be challenging. Huntington Bank can help. I'm Matt Harris, a local Huntington Wealth Team member right here in West Virginia. We help people like you navigate the market and your life changes. Join us for Money Minutes this Thursday at 3:45 on Hotline as Huntington Bank's local wealth management team provides insight on this week's hottest market topics and how they might impact you. Be sure to catch Money Minutes this Thursday at 3:45 on Metro News Hotline.
Worried about paying for college? Metro News is proud to present the 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program, where one high school junior in West Virginia will win a full scholarship to West Virginia Wesleyan College, including room, board, tuition, and fees. For details, go to WVMetroNews.com and click the Apply Now button. Deadline is May 3rd. The 2026 West Virginia Scholar Program, presented by Greer Industries and the West Virginia Hospital Association. Go to WVMetroNews.com and apply today by May 3rd.
A Clarksburg man is charged with making threats against President Donald Trump and ICE. 20-year-old Cody Lee Smith's been indicted on 2 counts of threats to murder the president, 1 count of influencing and retaliating against federal officials by threat of murder, and 1 count of influencing a federal official by threat of murder. U.S. Attorney for Northern West Virginia Matt Harvey says threats of violence against public officials will not be tolerated. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Jeff Jenkins.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says,
avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, Honey Bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back. Tony Caridi is going to join me here in just one sec. A little bit later on, Jeff Erickson, senior editor at RotoWire, will be here because, man, it is fantasy baseball season. We've got drafts coming up. Hey, if you are in one of our 2 Hotline Fantasy Baseball leagues, you have already been contacted via email, and we'll be having our drafts a little bit later on, later in this month. But we'll talk a little fantasy baseball. That's coming up in about, 15 minutes or so. I'll make closer, maybe 10. Coop, I think I need a breaking news sounder. Breaking news sounder. And unlike the WVU basketball game from last night or the Hunter Greene news, this is actually pretty good news. Pretty good news. Did you see who's coming to the Greenbrier for NFL camp? That would be the New York Football Giants.
Oh, hey, welcome to the Giants.
There you go. So the New York Football Giants are coming to the Greenbrier this year. The reason that they'll be operating out of the Greenbrier in training camp is because of a little thing called the World Cup. World Cup will be hosting the final game, the World Cup final in July, and they're building a new training facility for the Giants. So the Giants will follow the lead of many other NFL teams, and they'll be operating out of the Greenbrier a little bit later on this summer. Man, I was trying to figure out all the teams that have been here, Coop. The Saints, the
Patriots.
Browns, the Texans, a whole bunch of teams. And, of course, there have been teams who have stayed at the Greenbrier and practiced at the Greenbrier when West Coast teams would come east and have to play 2 East Coast-based teams back-to-back. So the New York Giants. How about this? John Harbaugh's first training camp with the Giants will be at the Greenbrier.
I like it.
How about that?
Welcome to the state.
That's breaking news. Question of the day today. British Columbia will permanently adopt daylight saving time starting this weekend. The province will spring forward one final time and never change clocks again, creating Pacific time. So from November to March, BC time will match Alberta and the Mountain time zones, placing it 1 hour ahead of Washington, Oregon, and California. From March to November, it synchronizes with those U.S. states again. So, it's time to talk about this stuff. What's your reaction to the news that BC will permanently adopt daylight saving time starting this weekend? And how did time changes impact your body and attitude? You know the number. Send your responses in via text, 304-TALK 304, 304-8255-304. I'm on X too, at Weekly, WEEKLEY. Tony Caridi joins me now. Oh, man, talking about the body, how it affects your body and attitude. How was your body and attitude coming back from the game last night, Tony?
That one left a mark both physically and mentally. Got in about 3:30 to the Coliseum. So long day, as you well know, Dave. When you win, long travel, you don't even notice it. When you lose, you go like, "Oh, this is no fun."
Hey, I was telling Coop earlier in the hour. I don't know how you felt about it, but I kind of felt like if that game had gone one more minute, West Virginia was going to win that game.
Oh, yeah. It was. I was there thinking the same thing, Dave. But the reality of it is West Virginia, they shot themselves, and the shot that allowed them to get up 19 points took them out of that game. So it would have been an incredible story to come back from that deficit. But at the same time, you would have stole it if you won that game last night.
Yeah, no question. Now, West Virginia did get to the point at the end of the game where it was a one-possession game. Hey, tell me, what was, from your perspective, when did you hear that Haggerty wasn't going to play? What was the reasoning behind that? Why didn't he play last night?
Started to hear it when we were over there for shoot-around that he might not go. And then once we got there, they said that he wasn't going to go. He's been dealing with some sort of thing near his elbow, on the above his elbow, and had been wearing a sleeve apparently of late. And so he couldn't go last night, and they weren't sure about him for Saturday at Kansas. I don't know. There's one way to say, okay, he's hurting. There's another way with, like, West Virginia's pretty good defensively. Kansas may not be his two best games, and obviously he'll be shopping himself. Again, in all likelihood, of people looking at him, and so maybe it's a little bit of both.
So, West Virginia's play against BYU last weekend, in light of what happened last night, was that fool's gold against BYU, considering what happened to BYU last night when they played Cincinnati?
Dave, I don't know if it's fool's gold, but here's kind of what I'm thinking. We've played 17 games. We've got one left. And you are what you are. And I think what this West Virginia team is this year is it's offensively challenged, and it has an incredibly thin margin for error to determine win or loss. And when one of those goes askew, then you're putting yourself behind, right? And so you take a look at the BYU game, and that was one in which West Virginia offensively played above its average, made shots, and they normally do guard well, right? We went into the game last night, top 10 in the country in scoring defense. So that was why you got the plus. Last night, you saw the below average offensive performance, which is incredibly frustrating, and you did not defend as well as you normally do, obviously, in that second half when McGriff continued to be able to score down inside. And so you have that thin margin, and you did not live up to your end of the bargain, and that's why you got behind. That's why eventually you lost the game.
Chance Moore had a good game last night for West Virginia. He had 18 points, led the team. Were you surprised when he didn't come out and start the second half?
No. Ross hasn't done that yet this year. He's going to stay with who he stays. And his reasoning is that you put your five out, and you want, when you make a substitution, you want it to be a catalyst. You want it to be a spark. And quite honestly, there aren't many bullets on that bench offensively for West Virginia. So I think he likes to have him come in there and provide a spark, which he has and which he did.
All right, so one more regular season game. It's against UCF, and barring some sort of unseen thing, this will be the last time that this group will play in the Coliseum. The fans packed it out last week. What do you think will be happening on Friday night?
It's a good question. It's easier, obviously, to get here on a Saturday than it is a Friday. But as of yesterday, I heard that there were about 300 tickets left.
Wow!
So if the student section wants to, use this as their appetizer before they go out on Friday night, it would be great to get them in there. And and then this is crazy in this era of basketball that we're in, that we're saying goodbye to these seniors, because, they've been here for 1 year. And at the same time, though, I think that personally, I'm always going to really, really like these guys. Were they the best team in all time in school history? No, they weren't. But to me, they were one of the best, if not the best, of just being constantly professional and no drama on the floor or off the floor all season long. And obviously I travel with them, just a really super good group. And so I respect them. They'll be remembered as Ross's first class. And, I hope they do well. As you know, Dave, last night we had 6 games in the league, and 5 of those had surprising results. And so anything can happen tomorrow. Anything can happen in Kansas City next week, and just keep your fingers crossed that they could go out on a positive vibe.
Hey, Tony Caridi joins me for just a couple more moments. Tony, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask your take on the Chase Meyer situation. West Virginia's best pitcher from last year's off the team. WVU plays at Marshall today at 5 o'clock. For Steve Sabins, last year he took over the team and they went to the Super Regionals, had a really fantastic year. And in the win-loss record at this point of the season is very good. How do you think Steve Sabins is going to handle this controversy around one of the best players on the team leaving the squad?
One thing, I think the game's canceled, Dave.
It is?
An email that I think the game got canceled.
I didn't know that.
Because of it. That's okay. But how does he handle it going forward? I think this. Obviously, he solely made this call. So there was something there that he said, hey, this is against our rules. This is against of what we are or who we want to be, whether that be, culturally or whatever it might be. And while it is extremely rare that you have a player sent away from the team, and while it's extremely rare that the player is a high-profile player, there are times when coaches have to make this incredibly difficult decision looking forward, going, what's the best overall for the program? The thing that I would, look back on, and you'll remember this, is when John Beilein, early in his career, I think it was year 2, just like Steve, he sent Drew Schifino off of the team.
Right.
And at that time, Drew was a legitimate big-time scorer, and he said, hey, you got to follow my rules, and if you don't, regardless of who you are, it's not going to work. And, West Virginia basketball, continued to move on, and that group continued to grow. And so I wouldn't be totally surprised if this isn't one of those types of moves. It's, I said this, and we're going to stay to it. And if you don't, as a coach, and the other players see that, then you lose your credibility, and that's the worst thing that could ever happen.
All right, Tony, thanks for your time today. I do appreciate it. Talk to you next week.
All right. Thank you, Dave. See you.
All right, Tony Caridi, a radio voice of the West Virginia Mountaineers, and he is right. That game, we got the news now, dated about 90 minutes ago, that the game in Huntington between the Herd and the Mountaineers has been canceled. All right, we'll take a break. We'll talk some fantasy baseball with Jeff Erickson from RotoWire in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Grant Maltba, Project Manager with CEC. Ever dreamt of working hands-on with wildlife? As a bat biologist at CEC, I do just that. Every day is a new adventure, tackling unique challenges and helping clients meet their Endangered Species Act requirements. It's not just rewarding for me, but it boosts our local economy and aids bat conservation too. Want to make a difference in the field? Join us at CEC. At CEC, we engineer progress in the great state of West Virginia.
Find out what CEC can do for you. Visit cecinc.com.
The Mountain East Conference Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament presented by the Health Plan is back at Wheeling's West Banco Arena, March 4th through the 8th. Past men's basketball national finalists West Liberty and Fairmont State, and 2022 women's basketball national champion Glenville State will be featured from the highest scoring NCAA Division II basketball conference in the country. Visit westbancoarena.com for advanced tickets and Tournament Central at mountaineast.org for tournament information, stories, results, event schedule, streaming, and television broadcast information. Join us for the Mountain East Conference Basketball Championships presented by the Health Plan, March 4th through the 8th at West Banco Arena in in Wheeling.
Metro News Hotline, brought to you by Salango Law, will return right after these messages.
When I was heavy, being on my feet all day seemed like torture. It makes you feel defeated. I'm just going to be like this for the rest of my life. But then I thought, I'm done acting like that. I'm not going to be like that anymore. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 265 pounds. It's always been my goal to have my own place. I want everyone to feel welcome here. I would never have been able to do all these things before without WVU Medicine.
New year, new trucks. Start your year off with a new truck from Dan Cava Toyota World. Now lease a 2025 Tacoma for as low as $299 a month. Save over $7,500 off on select Tundras or get 2.99% for 72 months. It's your last chance to get a gas model 2025 RAV4. Don't miss out. Come experience cars you can count on year after year. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the road.
You want to know what West Virginia is talking about?
It's good to be back in Morgantown today.
Now it's different.
I think it's mostly just business.
What I voted for and what I think makes the most sense.
Well, Dave, this has been a bit of a controversy.
I want to thank the caller last week that said I sounded like Hoppy Kercheval. That was flattering.
Join Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows Monday through Friday for Talkline on Metro News Television.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
The Mountain East Conference Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament returns to Wheeling from March 4th through the 8th. Westbanco Arena will serve as the host of one of the nation's premier basketball leagues, featuring one of the highest scoring conferences in America. Action begins on Wednesday, March the 4th, and concludes on Sunday, when 2 champions will be crowned. For advance tickets, go to westbancoarena.com. Visit mountaineast.org for tournament information. The 2026 Mountain East Conference Basketball Championships, presented by the Health Plan. Hi, I'm Chris Lawrence. Make plans to join me at the Mountain State's premier fishing, hunting, and outdoor sports show presented by Can-Am, Saturday and Sunday, March 7th and 8th at Milan Park in Morgantown. Over 200 vendor booths and 100,000 square feet of everything outdoors, all under one roof. Great prizes, seminars, and kids fish for free in the Academy Sports Trout Pond. It's the 24th annual West Virginia Fishing, Hunting, and Outdoor Sports Show, March 7th and 8th at Milan Park in Morgantown. Doors open both days at 9 a.m.
Walk.org. All right, welcome back to the show. Jeff Erickson, senior editor at RotoWire, joins me to talk a little bit about fantasy baseball because it is that time. Draft's happening. Jeff, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Dave. Happy to be talking baseball. Got the World Baseball Classic starting up this week. Loving it.
All right, got to get your reaction right off the top. What's, from a fantasy perspective, what's your take on the Hunter Greene situation?
Not great, Dave. Not great at all. It was not good news waking up to that today. Starting my show, the news broke on that maybe 15 minutes before my show at 8 o'clock a.m. Pacific time out here, and turns out that this is something he was dealing with last year in the last 5 to 6 starts and the playoff start. Had a recurrence here in spring training. Not good at all. I guess the only good news is they're saying there's no UCL damage, but I also don't love it when we got a couple of second and third opinions coming from the likes of Dr. Tim Kremchek, Dr. Neil Elatrash, 2 guys that are elbow specialists, but also the guys that you see when you go get that elbow repaired.
When you take a look at the Reds rotation going forward from a fantasy perspective, the guys potentially at the back of the rotation, the Chase Burnses, the Rhett Louders, are those guys fantasy or should those guys be picked in fantasy baseball?
Oh, absolutely. Well, Chase Burns already was. Chase Burns is getting drafted before Andrew Abbott, and certainly ahead of Brady Singer, probably a little bit behind Nick Lodolo. Chase Burns is, number 2 overall draft pick in real life, had a strikeout percentage over 30% last year. People are betting on the talent. But Rhett Lauder is competing for that 5th starter's job, and now both guys will probably be in the rotation ahead of Brandon Williamson. Lauder, people forget, he was an early first-round draft pick the year before Chase Burns, college teammate. These guys can both pitch, and Lauder was hurt most of last year. That's why we didn't see him.
All right, so going back to the Hunter Greene situation from a fantasy perspective, say, for example, you have a draft this week or next weekend. What are you doing with Greene? Do you take him?
I'm letting somebody else take him at that price. Well, I'm curious to see what happens today and tomorrow. We'll start getting some results pretty quickly. The NFBC is really good at producing the data on their draft results, and you can sort by date ranges. So, like tomorrow, I'll go and look and just see what happened in today's drafts, and you'll see how far he drops. Currently, he's going as pretty close to a top 10 to 12 starting pitcher. He's usually going by pick 50, maybe 55. That's going to drop. I probably wouldn't take him my first 100 picks. I might even wait longer than that, just because the unknown. I would suspect he won't be ready for the start of the season. He's never made it through a full season healthy either, Dave. That's the thing. It's not always the arm either. Sometimes it's groin injury last year, but I was taking others in his range ahead of him just because of the durability concerns.
What about Jefferson Profar's story? I mean, he may miss the entire year for the Braves. Different leagues, different fantasy leagues have different rules about these players that are suspended. First, your reaction to the story.
I mean, it's entirely dumb. I mean, Profar had his career year with the Padres, got that $42 million contract, and maybe he had help to get that contract. But my goodness, to get caught again? A second time where it cost you a full season? No, I mean, you're letting your team down also, and then you're just thinking you can beat the system is just crazy. If he did this on purpose, if it's some mistake, he had bad medical advice, you would think after the first suspension, you would just take every extra precaution, go everything through the team to make sure this doesn't happen again. He may never play another game in baseball again.
So what's this mean for fantasy players who have him on the roster? Who comes up and takes his spot in the Braves lineup?
Well, they're already a little thin, too. That's the other thing. They didn't spend a whole lot this offseason. Mike Yastrzemski is going to be playing every day now. He might have already because Profar was projected to be their DH. Remember, Marcell Ozuna left to go to Pittsburgh. He was the DH. They're going to put Profar there. Obviously, that's not an option. Sean Murphy is going to be hurt to start the season. He would have been a natural pivot to play DH, and that may be what happens eventually because the Braves have Drake Baldwin and Jonah Heim at catcher. You're looking at the likes of Dominic Smith, Eli White.
That doesn't sound good.
No, and they remember shortstop is a weakness for them too. Ha-Sung Kim is out for the first month of the season. Mauricio Dubon is going to be their shortstop. He's a good defender, but the Braves suffered last year. We're getting 4 homers from the shortstop position all season long. This is a team kind of constructed on things going right, and already things are going wrong between the injuries to Spencer Schwellenbach and Hurston Waldrop among pitchers too. I'm not super optimistic about them.
All right, one more player I got to ask. I guess this has turned out to be the injury and suspension segment.
Right.
What about Rafi Devers? The Giants have shut him down for hamstring tightness for a few days. If you're a Devers owner, are you concerned? And if you're thinking about drafting Devers, what's your take on this?
Yeah, I'm going to leave it at minor concern right now. I'm not doing a too major. I gave him a 5% downgrade in his playing time projection over at RotoWire, but practically that means I'm going to draft Josh Naylor. I'm going to draft Freddie Freeman before I take Rafi Devers. I may have already anyhow because I don't like that ballpark, even though he hit for power there, but the batting average will also get hurt by that ballpark. So some concern. By
the way, Jeff, great podcast on pitchers to try to pick up after pick 200.
Oh, thank you.
I really enjoyed that because that's, if you're a fantasy baseball veteran, that's where you need to get into the weeds. That's where you win leagues.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Scott Jenstad is my podcast partner. Fantastic fantasy baseball player. If you just search RotoWire on YouTube, you can see that, the stream of that, or wherever you get your podcasts. We're cranking them out every day, but that Sunday night one is one of my favorite ones to do.
All right, Jeff, got to leave it there. Thanks for coming on, man. I'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Dave.
All right, Jeff Erickson, senior editor at RotoWire. We need a break. We're back to wrap hour number 1 in a moment.
Metro News Hotline, presented by Salango Law, will return right after these messages.
New year, new trucks. Start your year off with a new truck from Dan Cava Toyota World. Now lease a 2025 Tacoma for as low as $299 a month. Save over $7,500 off on select Tundras or get 2.99% for 72 months. It's your last chance to get a gas model 2025 RAV4. Don't miss out. Come experience cars you can count on year after year. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the road.
Metro News Midday gives you the news of the day as it's happening.
Yeah, I was going to say we'd get something more important, but probably not.
Honestly, no. We're just doing whatever. We're
probably
spitballing
not.
Join Dave Allen weekdays for Midday on Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at wvmetronewstv.com.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Start your new year off right with a new ride from Dan Cava GMC. Come explore our 2026 GMC Acadias. Spacious, smooth, and made for everyday life. It's truly a fan favorite. Drive into winter with a new 2026 GMC Sierra, now up to $12,000 off, or lease as low as $499 a month. So upgrade your ride this year with us at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the road.
When I was heavy, being on my feet all day seemed like torture. Makes you feel defeated. I'm just gonna be like this for the rest of my life. But then I thought, I'm done acting like that. I'm not gonna be like that anymore. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 265 pounds. It's always been my goal to have my own place. I want everyone to feel welcome here. I would never have been able to do all these things before without WVU Medicine.
It's high school basketball season, and Metro News Television has you covered. Rivalries, buzzer beaters, classic hardwood competition. Watch live and on demand from gyms across the Mountain State. Stream Metro News Television on your iPhone, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, LG TV, and select smart TVs. Or visit MetroNewsTV.com for more information. High school basketball lives here on Metro News Television.
All right, that's it for the first hour of the show. We'll take a break, check the news, what happened in the financial markets today, reset our question of the day, and spend some time with Tom Bragg, talking high school sports and Marshall as well. This is Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Hoppy Kercheval, 5:55 a.m. How early did you get in that day, by the way?
Probably 3:30.
How long did you do sign-on shift?
I signed on like 7 years.
Not all.
6 days a week for 7 years.
Lightweight.
I know. couldn't do it now. Now when I wake up at 3:30 is to go to the bathroom and go back to bed.
Welcome to the 2 o'clock hour, Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com on a Wednesday, and I apologize because Stephanie Pauly is our producer, one of the producers of the show, and normally she has everything. We have a thing we call the run sheet, when we have who we're calling and what we're doing and so on. And so, and Stephanie, I don't even know whether you know this, I did the run sheet today, and I put the wrong date on. I put 2025 on it, because how many of us in modern day actually write the date out anymore? I mean, you did it when you were in school, you did it back when people wrote checks and whatever. This may have been the first day that I have written the date down, and I was responsible for putting together the sheet. And my co-host, the lovely and talented AB, starts the show by saying January 24th, 2025, because she read it directly off the sheet. And it is indeed the year of our Lord, 2026.
Oh, yeah, he did find something out. Sonia, you're related to Thomas Jefferson?
Well, no, I'm not related to Thomas Jefferson, but I am related to Samuel Kercheval, who was a historian.
I'm going to tell you something about Samuel Kercheval. Him and Jefferson out smoking corn silk. Kercheval told him, Thomas, I don't know about this country. Might want to start again.
He could.
So I don't have a monitor here, so I really can't see what happens at the beginning of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So at what point do I pop up? When the music starts and Mr. Announcer comes on?
Yeah.
So they see all the little panic things that I do that I'm still in the process of setting up?
Yes. They see you shuffle about uncomfortably. They see you blow the dust off your headphones. They see you put in like 2 cough drops at the same time.
Oh, yeah. I don't do 2 at the same time. Okay. All right. I don't know that. I should probably. Now, these shows are archived, right? So I can go back and watch them.
Yes.
So I could live this show in real time and then go home and, when I say something to Linda like, hey, did you hear when I did this? And I don't watch it. Well, let's get in front of the TV and watch me do it again for 3 straight hours.
Yes, it's archived just like the audio podcast.
Ah, that's right.
And see, this is the thing that gets the NCAA in trouble, when it goes to court here. Is there a clock or not? Greg, we talk about the clock all the time. Mm-hmm. If he began in 2019, the clock should have run out, whether he's played the 4 years or not. And that's part of the argument, because some guys go right through the clock, right? TJ Finley, we've mentioned many times on this show. 7th team coming up this year. He's playing for Incarnate Word. He's played 7 seasons at 7 different schools. Now, why hasn't his clock started? Why doesn't he have the 5-year clock? So if you're Aguilar, I get it.
He just bouncing him off the ropes. Somebody save this man. Oh, my Lord. Oh. Very nice, very nice. He hit him with everything he didn't want.
– 10 seconds remaining.
Going to be a direct snap here.
Snap back. It's Tyler. Tyler fakes the run. He throws. He's got an open man. Pass top 10. 5. End zone. It's a touchdown. Pulled in by Nestor. 3 seconds left.
Are you kidding me with the play call right there by Kevin Whiteman? Again, forget the game-winning field goal. Whiteman says, we're going to try and win this thing right now. The direct snap to Tyler sucked everybody up, and Nestor slips behind. What an unbelievable gutsy play call, and then perfect execution by these Falcons.
Things aren't always going to be great. And sometimes, you can work really, really hard and it's still not great. You're still not successful. But, if you continue to do it, one way or another, things are going to be work out. You're going to be successful. And it may not be in the world's eyes, but, God's made us this way. He's blessed us with so many things. And I think that's one of our attributes that we need to have is we're going to continue to work. We're going to continue to work hard. And if it doesn't work out exactly how we want, just keep plugging away because God's got better plans.
This is Metro News Hotline, presented by Salango Law. Metro News Hotline is a 3-hour audio tour, navigating the world of sports, news, entertainment, tech, and more from a Mountain State point of view. Hotline is a no-politics zone. You can join the conversation. Text the show at 304-825-5304. 304-TALK-304. Here's the host for Metro News Hotline, Dave Weekley.
All right, welcome back to the show. Hour number 2, How Do You Do? Metro News Hotline, keeping you company here in West Virginia every weekday afternoon right up until 6 o'clock on the Metro News Radio Network. Hope you're having a good one out there. Here in Charleston, kind of a rainy, cloudy afternoon, 59 degrees at our flagship 580 WCHS. We're glad you're here. And wherever you're listening to the show today, inside the state of West Virginia or beyond the borders, just trying to get a read on what's going on back home, we hope you're having a good one. We got a busy hour for you here. We'll take a look at what happened in the financial markets, reset our question of the day. Oh, Tom Bragg from 580 WCHS is going to join me a little bit, talk about some high school stuff. We're into the high school basketball postseason. Coop, the girls' high school basketball postseason's already started on 580, right? So we've been pretty busy with that. I want to ask him a little bit about Marshall as well. Marshall football started spring drills early this week. And, we were just briefly talking about this at the end of the 3 o'clock hour. The scheduled baseball game today between Marshall hosting West Virginia in Huntington at 5 o'clock, that game has been canceled because of bad weather. So both those teams will get off their feet for a while. The Herd will be back at it at home this weekend starting Friday with a 3-game set against St. Bonaventure. WVU gets back at it as they host the Lions of Columbia from the Ivy League beginning on Friday afternoon in Morgantown. Hey, Coop, before we go any farther, I wanted to ask you, we didn't even talk about this yesterday. You are the most prominent Seahawks fan in West Virginia. The Seahawks are the new Super Bowl champs. What are you hearing from your Seahawks peeps about Kenneth Walker? What do you think the plan is? Do the Seahawks want him back?
Yeah, they're going to pursue him in free agency.
You think?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I think he wants to stay there, but you never know when somebody throws a boat of money at you. I was trying to get that in yesterday, but you were all in the Steelers stuff when we were talking about the.
And we have Steelers stuff today too.
When we were talking about the franchise tag and so forth, that was their big news, is they didn't franchise tag him.
Well, Trent McDuffie got traded today. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. So
Trent McDuffie, who's a 2-time All-Pro corner, got traded from Kansas City to the Rams. What do the Rams want with draft picks, right? I mean, they were always trading their draft picks. So the Rams have moved off their number 1, their number 5, and their number 6 in this year's draft, which is now, a little less than 50 days away, and a third, is it a third-round pick? A third-round pick in 2027. So there's a little chatter about Walker may be entertaining an offer that could be coming from the Chiefs. There's a whole bunch of teams.
Yeah, you never know.
I mean,
never know.
The Commanders, the Panthers, there's a whole bunch of teams that could potentially be interested in him. You got to wonder, I mean, in his case, you got to strike when the fire is hot, right? I mean,
and I think in Seattle's case, they're looking at Charbonnet got hurt in the playoffs last year, but they're looking at Walker wasn't their feature back until the playoffs, so they split the backfield. So I think they're looking at the case if Charbonnet comes back healthy, they have one of their 2 running backs back there. I want Kenneth Walker to stay because I've liked him. You know me, I've liked him since he was drafted. I thought he was going to be a good back, and he's finally got to that point, but. Seattle's very cagey when they deal with this stuff. Generally speaking, Snyder and the guys up there do a pretty good job when it comes to the general managership of that team. So it's hard to tell what they have in mind.
And they got a lot of guys that got to get paid.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
sure.
that's part of it as well. But it is kind of interesting to see the Super Bowl MVP as a free agent.
Yeah.
That is a little bit of a weird one. Let's get into what's going on today in the financial markets. Well, Dow bouncing back today. Up 0.5%, gained 238 points. The Dow closing at 48,739. S&P 500 was up 0.75%, tacked on 53 points today, 68.69. NASDAQ was the big winner today, up 1.3%, gained almost 291 points today. NASDAQ closing at 22,807. Among stocks related to West Virginia that were big percentage gainers or losers, it was the return of the techs today. Amazon was up 4.1%, gained $8.63, $217.36. At the close today, Halliburton was down 1.6%, lost 58 cents, $34.52. Also today, NiSource had a good day, up 1.8%, tacked on 86 cents, 47.60 at the close. In the energy space today, oil up, but just 1%, gaining 71 cents. WTI on the NYMEX closed at $75.27. We are hitting the highs that we haven't seen since last June, however. Natural gas down 4.3%, lost 13 cents, back under $3 per unit at $2.92. While trading has ended on Wall Street for the moment, you can basically trade natural gas at any point. So this is just a snapshot. But at the moment, $2.92 per unit. All right, here's our question of the day. Question of the day, man, this weekend, are you ready to spring forward? Well, you better be ready because daylight saving time is coming late on Saturday night. And British Columbia has decided they're going to permanently adopt daylight saving time starting this weekend. The premier announced on Monday that the province will spring forward one final time and then never change clocks again, creating Pacific time from November to March. BC time will match Alberta and the Mountain Time Zone, placing it 1 hour ahead of Washington, Oregon, and California. And then from March to November, it synchronizes with those U.S. states again. So the question of the day, and it's sponsored by Salango Law, what's your reaction to the news that BC will permanently adopt daylight saving time starting this weekend? And how do time changes impact your body and attitude? How do the time changes impact your body and your attitude? To respond, text those in 304-TALK 304, 304-8255 304. Tweet me. I'm on Exit Weekly, WEEKLEY, one word, 3 E's, WEEKLEY. Tom Bragg from the Dream Team, 580 WCHS, joins me on the phone today. How you doing today, Tom?
Good, Dave. How are you, buddy?
Hey, man. Thanks for coming on the show. Hey, you know, we've been dealing with this in the legislature about maybe trying to talking about springing forward or springing back, maybe trying to turn back the clock a little bit on some of these transfer rules for West Virginia high school athletes. If the SSAC gets a hold of this process again, what do you think's going to happen? Are we going to go back to the old rules? Can you put the genie back in the bottle? What do you think?
I think it'll probably be something close to the old rules. It might not be exactly a one-for-one of what it used to be, which was, I believe, you could transfer before ninth grade, but if you transferred later on in school and you were out of district, then you had to sit a year. In district complicates it, but I mean, well, anything is possible. You know, the genie is out of the bottle. I think a lot of people maybe wanted it to go a different way than it went. Some schools were really hurt by this. We've seen South Charleston mentioned. Of course, they didn't have a girls basketball team this year. Their middle school team was outstanding. And I know locally here in the Kanawha Valley, there's been a big push for, you know, they got to get something going with South Charleston girls basketball because they have this incredible youth program, but the high school team just didn't have enough girls, didn't have a coach. We've seen it same with South Charleston football. They've kind of started turning things around, but that was a program that was hit as hard as any here locally by kids transferring out. So I think maybe there is some merit to the folks who want to put the genie back in the bottle, but I don't know that you can just put it back to the way it was. It might be something close to that if the SSAC gets a hold of it, but it seems like the SSAC in recent years has been a little more willing to be flexible, a little more willing to maybe try some things and be progressive. So I'll be interested to see how they interpret it, but it may be closer to what it was than what it is now.
Yeah, I wanted to say that if this passes and these rules go back to the SSAC, there's no guarantee that these rules will go exactly what they were before they changed 3 years ago, right? They could tweak this system.
Yeah, I mean, if they put it back in the SSAC's court to figure out, I think it's kind of on them to maybe tweak it a little bit and apply it to the modern version of the sport versus whatever version it was when that rule was originally adopted.
So what do you think? I mean, what about the schools that have been powerhouses since these rules changed 3 years ago? They're not interested in these rules going back to the way they were before, right? I mean, they've built really strong programs, and they kind of look at some of these areas as kind of feeders to their programs. Why would they want the rules to be changed? It's working out for them right now.
Yeah, they don't want the rules to be changed.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And some of them, Dave, it's not 100% across the board. Every team in every sport that's good now is good because of the transfer rule. There's some legacy programs that have just kind of figured out how to adapt with the times, but there's certainly some schools that traditionally haven't been good in certain sports that have gotten pretty darn good in the last couple of years. They don't want this to go through. They want it to be the way that it is. They've kind of figured out, okay, these are the new rules. This is how you play by them. And it's not like they're breaking rules, but people that aren't able to get things rolling maybe as well as some of these other schools and adapt are the ones that seem to be pushing the hardest for this.
And you know what? There are some legislators who are against this. They like the idea that students have the freedom to go where they want, the freedom to join a program where they're more likely to maybe get a college scholarship. And then you've got the homeschool angle. I mean, there are some people who are actually against this.
Yeah, I think there's got to be some sort of guardrails. It's, and to use the term you used, it's tough to put the genie back in the bottle now, but there's got to be some sort of guardrails. Certainly, when you bring the homeschool into it, it complicates things because they're not really under the SSAC's umbrella. So, do the SSAC policies and rules apply to them? Well, I think if they want to participate in SSAC, but then it gets really, really muddy when you start getting into the fine details of all this stuff. So it'll be very interesting to see where this goes. I'm curious to see what sort of tweaks or maybe changes the SSAC would make if they got the chance to do it over again here.
We're talking with Tom Bragg, 580 WCHS Sports. Hey, Tom, I wanted to ask you about a couple of other things, too. I mean, it's kind of a shame that we didn't get a chance to see WVU and Marshall play in Huntington today. I mean, WVU's program been to the Super Regionals the last 2 years. They're nationally ranked right now. And Marshall just roared back and beat the daylights out of Virginia Tech in Blacksburg yesterday. Yeah, the season didn't start maybe as on quite the roll that Marshall wanted. It was stubbed their toe a few times the first few weekends, but man, they had a good weekend series against Butler. They came out and thumped Virginia Tech yesterday. I got to think the herd was feeling pretty good getting a shot at the Mountaineers on this roll they're on, but the weather's supposed to be pretty cruddy here in the Kanawha Valley in this part of the state this evening, and the thunderstorms I think are likely. I understand why you don't want to make that trip from Morgantown on a maybe. Sure.
So we'll get another chance to see them play, hopefully a couple times this year, but it just wasn't in the cards tonight.
Also want to get at your take on Marshall men's basketball. Had the situation last Friday night. We're at a national TV game on ESPN2 to play Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern just shot the lights out. Nobody's going to accuse Marshall of being a great defensive team, but Georgia Southern just shot it great from outside the arc, and they beat Marshall. So you're thinking, what a great opportunity lost. Well, at the end of the night, they took a look at all the tiebreakers, and Marshall is still the number 2 seed in the Sun Belt tournament. They're going to play on Sunday night in the semifinals. How you feeling about Marshall going into this tournament with a few days getting off their feet, and only, you win 2 games, you're going to the NCAAs?
Man, I like the Herd's chances in a 2-game tournament. It's no guarantee, but this team has been, I've said up and down and hot and cold. It's been more hot than cold, more up than down, but when they've been down, they've been able to get up off the mat time and time again, and every time you wonder, is this when the wheels finally fall off? And it hasn't happened yet. I've been waiting for it to happen. It hasn't happened yet. I'm on the train. I think they've got a good shot in Pensacola this weekend. And thinking about this is a big legacy weekend for a guy like Corny Jackson and a guy like Wyatt Fricks. With Fricks, 5-year guys are unicorns now at a single school, and to start where he did and come all the way to be an all-conference first-team player, a guy who was part of the team that won the Sun Belt and went to the NCAA, that's folk hero stuff in Huntington. And, for Corny, how many guys have gotten Marshall to an NCAA tournament? You're talking about maybe one of the best coaching jobs in a single season that Marshall's ever seen if they're able to get it done this weekend.
I got to say this about Corny, too. We may not have liked the process in which he got the job following Dan D'Antoni, but he stepped in and done a really good job. I mean, if Marshall somehow wins the Sun Belt Conference tournament and goes to the NCAA tournament, how attractive is he for another job? And shouldn't he be in line maybe for a bump in pay at Marshall? He's like one of the lowest paid coaches in the league.
Yeah, I think certainly at the very least he's in line for a bump in pay at Marshall. But, I think Corny becomes an attractive candidate. He's a guy who learned under Dan D'Antoni and stepped right into this portal era when it was, still a relatively new thing that people and programs were trying to get their arms around. And, man, he's hit the ground running. I think he exceeded expectations in his first year. They weren't great, but they weren't terrible either. The bottom didn't fall out of it. And then this year, you're right down to the last day of the season battling for a conference title. You've got everything but the banner, getting the 2 seed. You get the bye all the way to the semifinals. You got as good a path as anybody to the NCAA tournament. Yeah, I think some teams might come sniffing around Corny. The other side of that is Corny's a Marshall guy, so who knows how interested it'll be. It'll be interesting for sure.
Yeah, it'd be tough for him to leave home. Hey, finally, Marshall spring football began this week. WVU starts this weekend. I like what has been said about Marshall's program so far about, Tony Gibson last year kind of hit the ground running, putting together a team. A lot of guys from last year's team are back, especially on offense, and that's kind of unusual for a G6.
Yeah, I think there's an opportunity for Marshall to find some consistency on the offensive side, bringing so many guys back. It'll be an interesting spring to see how things kind of shake out, who starts moving up or down the depth chart, but certainly something we're keeping our eye on this spring. I got to say, though, Dave, I told myself I was going to try not to think about Marshall football this spring until I got back from vacation next week. So we jumped the gun on this a little bit, talking this first week about it. But I have been kind of keeping an eye on it, just on the back burner. But, man, with Marshall basketball and the high school playoffs heating up, there's been a lot to keep you distracted from Marshall football in the spring.
Hey,
right
man.
now.
Oh, I didn't know you were going on vacation. Are you taking the dog? What's the plan?
No, the dog's staying here. We're going on a cruise next week.
Oh,
so
nice.
First time for me and the kids. Girlfriend's been on a cruise before this, so she's the veteran. She's leading the journey here.
All right, good deal. Tom, thanks for your time today, man. I do appreciate it. Have a great vacation.
Hey, thanks, guys. We'll see you when we get back.
All right, Tom Bragg. Coop, leaving the dog behind. I don't know if the kids are going to like that.
It's a tough job sometimes.
There you go. All right, let's take a break, and when we come back, we will get into the entertainment report. And don't forget, we got a pick one coming. That's in about 10 minutes. Stay with us.
Starting March 10th, Metro News brings you the 2026 West Virginia SSAC High School Basketball Championships presented by Chick-fil-A.
First title for Spring Mills and boys basketball.
The best teams in the state will once again meet at the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center to compete for the title in their respective classes. The girls' tournament runs March 10th through 14th. The boys play March 17th through the 21st. Catch all the games on the Metro News Radio Network and at WVMetroNews.com, where you'll also find up-to-the-minute scoring, stats, and brackets, the latest tournament news, and game recaps. Also, you can watch the live HD video streams of the class championships both Saturdays on Metro News Television.
The luck and skill of the Irish, they win the AA championship.
The 2026 West Virginia SSAC State High School Basketball Championships beginning March 10th, presented by Chick-fil-A, exclusively on Metro News, the voice of high school basketball in West Virginia. Don't forget about our podcast. Check out your favorite podcast provider or simply go to WVMetroNews.com and click on the podcast link. This is Hotline, presented by Salango Law on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
On the next State of Minds. I came here to Morgantown, the WVU. I wanted to play football. Tried to walk on, but I was humbled very quickly. So I joined the WVU forestry team. What my father taught me was the importance of hard work and the importance of sweat equity.
New year, new trucks. Start your year off with a new truck from Dan Cava Toyota World. Now lease a 2025 Tacoma for as low as $299 a month. Save over $7,500 off on select Tundras or get 2.99% for 72 months. It's your last chance to get a gas model 2025 RAV4. Don't miss out. Come experience cars you can count on year after year. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the road.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
When I was heavy, being on my feet all day seemed like torture. Makes you feel defeated. I'm just gonna be like this for the rest of my life. But then I thought, I'm done acting like that. I'm not gonna be like that anymore. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 265 pounds. It's always been my goal to have my own place. I want everyone to feel welcome here. I would never have been able to do all these things before without WVU Medicine.
Start your new year off right with a new ride from Dan Cava GMC. Come explore our 2026 GMC Acadias. Drive into winter with a new 2026 GMC Sierra. Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your App Store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
And the Ad Council.
Well, get this, a new investigation found that over 100 chemicals of unknown safety were secretly added to the U.S. food supply. That story again, the McRib is back.
So easy. So easy, right? Jimmy Fallon from The Tonight Show last night. Almost halfway home in the program today, time for Talkin' TV and more. Here are the latest entertainment headlines today from ABC.
ABC Entertainment News.
We have a release date for Netflix's Little House on the Prairie. The series, which is a new adaptation of the beloved Laura Ingalls Wilder books, will debut on July 9th. The show has also been renewed for a second season ahead of its release.
It's been too long.
Two-time Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Ringo Starr is coming out with a new album titled Long, Long Road. The album is set to release on April 24th and will feature guest appearances by Sheryl Crow, St. Vincent, Billy Strings, Molly Tuttle, and Sarah Jarosz. The first single from the album, It's Been Too Long, featuring Tuttle and Jarosz, is out now.
My husband and I, we take turns.
Peacock has released its first trailer for the new series, The Miniature Wife, starring Matthew McFadden and Elizabeth Banks. The series is set to premiere on April 9th. And happy birthday to Emilio Estefan, who is 73 today. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Michelle, thanks. We'll take a break here at the bottom of the hour. When we come back, it'll be time to play Pick One. This is Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
This is Hotline, presented by Salango Law on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Jeff Jenkins. The crossover day in the House of Delegates has included a vote to change the state's payments to the Hope Scholarship Program from 2 times a year to 4 times a year to help with the state budget. That bill replaced another bill that would have made major changes to the Hope program. That measure didn't have enough support to get out of committee last week. A popular building on the state capitol complex will get what supporters say is much-needed maintenance work through a bill passed by the House today. Bonds could be sold, do the work at the State Culture Center. Jefferson County Delegate Bill Ridenhour got a tour of the 50-year-old building Tuesday.
That place is in serious condition. We're lucky, frankly, that we haven't had catastrophic issues in the facility.
That bill heads next to the state Senate. It appears Riley's law will have to wait until next session for a vote. The bill would pause parents from moving kids out of public school to homeschool if there's an abuse and neglect investigation. Ohio County Delegate Sean Fluharty says they ran out of time and they shouldn't have. Fluharty says those who are speaking against the bill have blinders on.
The lobbying against this bill is not based on facts or merit. It's very disappointing to see and hear the comments about the legislation. When you actually read it and you actually discuss it with people, they fully understand it and get it.
Fluharty says that bill should have been on an agenda in the House long before it was. It didn't make an agenda until earlier this week. You're listening to Metro News. For 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.
Starting March 10th, Metro News brings you the 2026 West Virginia SSAC High School Basketball Championships presented by Chick-fil-A.
First title for Spring Mills and boys basketball.
The best teams in the state will once again meet at the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center to compete for the title in their respective classes. The girls' tournament runs March 10th through 14th. The boys play March 17th through the 21st. Catch all the games on the Metro News Radio Network and at WVMetronews.com, where you'll also find up-to-the-minute scoring, stats, and brackets, the latest tournament news, and game recaps. Also, you can watch the live HD video streams of the class championships both Saturdays on Metro News Television.
The luck and skill of the Irish, they win the AA championship.
The 2026 West Virginia SSAC State High School Basketball Championships beginning March 10th, presented by Chick-fil-A, exclusively on Metro News, the voice of high school basketball in West Virginia.
A bell ringing earlier today in downtown Charleston. The names of 7 Charleston firefighters who died on this day in 1949 in the Woolworth Building fire. Captain Austin Smith says it's good to remember.
The men and women who respond to the Charleston Fire Department put their lives in danger on a daily basis.
Today's the 77th anniversary of that tragedy. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Jeff Jenkins.
I was proud to be a soldier.
I told the truth and got kicked out.
And so I thought to myself, I'm taking this rule down.
If you're an LGBTQ plus veteran, your memories are important too. Share your story with the Library of Congress Veterans History Project, where firsthand accounts from U.S. military veterans are preserved and made accessible for researchers and future generations. Visit loc.gov/vets to submit your stories, photographs, and documents today.
All right, welcome back to the show. Coop, I'm seeing some breaking news about the TV show The Bear.
The
Have
Bear?
you seen this, The Bear?
I didn't know that was still on, honestly.
I know. There you go. Apparently, Jamie Lee Curtis is spilling the tea on this, saying that The Bear is going to end after its upcoming 5th season.
Oh.
And production for that final installment is already wrapped. So I kind of lost the plot on The Bear after the first year.
Yeah, I remember. I think I actually watched the first season and remember liking it. And I guess I never liked it enough to check in season 2 because I don't remember ever watching anything from season 2.
So the cake's baked, man. The Bear ending after season 5.
Well,
let's play a little pick one. Time for pick one. Rules are kind of explained in the title, and pick one for each topic. 2 choices are given, and you must select one of them. Hence, you must pick one. I have 5, count them, 5 sets of pick one topics. We have not seen each other's pick one selections. There are no correct answers. There are simply opinions. Honest responses are likely to result in hurt feelings that could jeopardize our friendship and working relationship, but we're willing to risk all that for the sake of higher ratings. Let's get started. Are you ready for pick one topic number 1?
Yes, I am.
Well, we know a little bit more about how many people saw Bad Bunny perform at the Super Bowl. Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime performance achieved a historic milestone, reaching 4.1 billion views within 24 hours across all platforms. The NFL, Rock Nation, and Apple Music announced earlier this week that the record-breaking figures include global broadcast numbers plus views on YouTube and across all social media platforms. 4.1 billion views. That is impressive.
Sounds like a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
It's about what our show gets.
Yeah, my Harrison County math tells me that's a lot.
Yeah.
So pick one topic number 1. Better concert. Better concert, Bad Bunny or classic Santana? Better concert, Bad Bunny or classic Santana? See, I'm trying to get into the Latin thing here. Please pick one.
It's interesting too because I'll be honest, Santana's not really my cup of tea either.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not really.
Okay.
I'm not like I've never owned an album. I've never listened to like songs consecutively. You know, like whatever I've heard has just been radio stuff. So the artists are actually more parody than what you might imagine with me as far as exposure goes. I'm about equal as far as that goes. So better concert?
Yeah, better concert, Bad Bunny or classic Santana?
Man, I'll go with Santana because I'll probably recognize some of it a little bit more. And man, I was at I went to an EDM show a couple years ago, and I was still in my 40s then. And I went to go see like Crom Trues and Glitch Mob and people like that. Man, I did not feel right being there. Like I felt like a giant among little people. Like I just didn't feel right. I think I might be similar to like a how I would feel otherwise. So I think I'll go with Santana. I don't know.
Did I ever tell you about the time my wife Linda was in an elevator in Las Vegas with Carlos Santana and didn't know it until he got out?
Oh, okay, fair.
She didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
But she said, hey, he smells good. Smells good.
That's good.
So that's good. All right, pick one topic number 2. World Baseball Classic.
Okay.
World Baseball Classic getting underway. The United States plays its first game against Brazil. That'll be on Friday night. All right, pick one. If the United States doesn't win it, who would you rather root for, Japan or the Dominican Republic? If the United States can't win the World Baseball Classic, which one of these two countries would you rather see win it, Japan or the DR?
Ellie's not going to play, but he would be playing for the DR if he was going to be there. Man, I like both. I mean, I like watching all those teams, to be honest with you. They all have some people you recognize. They all have a little bit slightly different style of play and stuff like that they bring to the table. I kind of like all those guys, frankly. Man, you know, Otani and those guys are going to be over for the Japanese team. I think I got to go with the Japanese team.
Japan wins again, man.
Yeah, I know. They keep on winning. Yeah, I mean, I just like watching it. I like watching them all.
But wouldn't the DR celebration be better?
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah. Well, you know, the big thing over in Japan, they can't watch the series this year in bars.
I saw that.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, Netflix. How about that?
Yeah.
How about that? Somebody's going to – by the way, you sent me the photo of those guys. Did you see what I wrote?
Yeah, that jersey, or the double jerseys.
Here's a guy who had an Otani jersey on. He was wearing it backwards.
So the Otani was on the front.
Yeah, so Otani was on the front. Then he had his other baseball jersey on top of that.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Hashtag respect.
Very, very respectable.
I respect that. All right. Did you hear that there's going to be a Game of Thrones movie?
I just heard it this morning.
Game of Thrones movie. Warner Brothers is developing a Game of Thrones movie, and it's going to focus on the founder of the Targaryen dynasty and his conquest of Westeros centuries before the original series. So I think that's kind of interesting. But I wanted to ask you, there's always a lot of discussion about the best series ever on HBO, right? Was it The Wire? Was it The Sopranos? But what I want you to tell me, Coop, is what is a better HBO limited series? What is a better HBO limited series? Chernobyl or Band of Brothers? Chernobyl or Band of Brothers? Better HBO limited series. Please pick one.
Man, it has been a long time since I've seen Band of Brothers, and I know it's fantastic, and I would recommend anybody seeing it. But recency bias, and I will admit this, that Chernobyl miniseries or limited series or whatever was incredible.
It was.
It was very, very good. And honestly, explored a lot of things that I was less aware of than some of the things around the Band of Brothers era and things like that. So it's purely because of recency bias. They're both fantastic, but I'll go in this case with Chernobyl.
Did you know that guy who starred in that for the Chernobyl series is the son of James Mason?
Oh, wow. No, I didn't.
Yeah. All right, moving on. How long did you live in Michigan, Coop? How long did you live in Michigan?
Let's see, 12, 15, well, out of West Virginia for 2 decades, and Michigan for like 15 of those years.
Okay.
Like that.
All right, so you know Michigan pretty well.
Pretty well.
You know, pizza franchises out of the state of Michigan.
Okay, yeah.
So you've got Domino's. Domino's is from Ypsilanti.
Right.
All right. Where Eastern Michigan is, a pair of brothers bought a pizza parlor named Dom Nix in 1960. That's how they got the thing started. Then Little Caesars, the Illich couple, they got that thing going in Detroit. So, better Michigan-based pizza franchise, Domino's or Little Caesars, in or out?
This actually isn't all that hard for me. I will admit that I had Little Caesars again recently for the first time in ages, and it was okay. It wasn't bad. It was fine.
Okay.
So it's perfectly acceptable. But for whatever reason, Domino's, especially after they did that relaunch, what was it, maybe a decade ago or something now, but they refreshed their menu a little bit, changed some of their sauce recipe, their crust. I thought it was super successful. So generally speaking, if I'm going for broad macro pizza, it's probably going to be Domino's.
Would you say the Little Caesars is a little underrated, though?
I don't know. I mean, to me, maybe because I absolutely hated it up until a couple weeks ago, and then I've had it recently, and it was, like I said, it was okay. I still would put it at a distant, like behind the other three or so that I go to any regularity.
All right, finally, pick one topic, number 5 from me. Oh, Coop. You know, we love talking about band reunions. You know who's thinking about getting back together and teasing a little bit?
Oh, who now?
That would be Hole. Hole is thinking about getting back together. Courtney Love is like getting the band back together. It's a little chatter that Hole may be thinking about a reunion tour. So, you know, let's get into that era of Hole. More excited to see a Hole reunion or the Smashing Pumpkins? More excited about a Hole reunion or the Smashing Pumpkins? Please pick one.
Okay, I objectively like the Smashing Pumpkins. Like I know more of their catalog. I mean, Hole didn't have quite that long of a career compared to.
Really.
I mean, Billy Corgan's still out there with whatever zombie version of the Pumpkins. I think maybe they're even back to sort of the Pumpkin lineup now. But for decades, he was putting out music under the Pumpkins. It was basically just him in a studio. And also, he's completely insufferable live. And I think maybe he's recently had to change this because fans pushing back, but the whole thing where he's not going to play the classic songs, he's going to play like the new Pumpkin songs when you come see him in concert. Son, you could not pay me to come to your concert if that was the case. If I'm not going to hear things from like the Gish and the Siamese Dream era and stuff like that. Hole, I have to believe, man, they have like 10 songs that people know, and I have to believe they're going to play those 10 songs and a few more every single time. So one off, send me the Hole, man. Send me to the concert.
That is the correct answer.
Yeah, send me to see Courtney Love and folks.
That is the correct answer. All right, what do you got for me?
All right, let's start with you. I wrote these in no time today. I was inspired. So the first one for you. Okay, would you rather have VIP tickets to attend a top-selling stand-up like Chris Rock or somebody similar, or a top-selling magician/mentalist like Chris Angel, Darren Brown, or somebody along those lines?
Give me the stand-up.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And
I like magic, but I am fascinated by stand-up comics.
The good magicians kind of blend the two. I've gone to some of those recently. They're pretty good shows.
Good point. You're right.
Let's see. One league is going to cut their number of regular season games by half permanently. You have to choose which one. Would you rather see the NBA go to a 41-game season or Major League Baseball go to an 81-game season?
I don't want any changes in baseball. Full stop. Full stop. NBA, you got to do what you got to do. Load management anyway.
I know, right? It'd be a watchable season at 41. Make them play the games.
I mean, I got to find out how the load management situation is rolling before I actually buy a ticket. Right. You don't have to do that in baseball. Baseball, you couldn't do that. It would screw up all the records.
Oh, I agree completely.
Okay,
yeah,
baseball.
Sure. Yeah, all right. That's the only answer as far as that goes. Okay, what disgraced baseball player should be the first to get into the Hall of Fame, assuming both of them get in? Pete Rose or Barry Bonds?
I think it's got to be Bonds. I think his records are more impressive. Home run champ.
I mean, yeah.
He's a home run champ.
Walk
right?
champ. I mean, you look at a lot of those things. Yeah.
Yeah. That's not a hard question.
Okay. All right.
That's not hard. Now, I know that somebody just went off the road, and I apologize for that.
10 years ago, there would have been a line out the door. But I don't think anymore we have to worry about that.
I have to fight my way to the car, I know, but I'm going to go with Bonds.
All right, question number 4. We've seen the tepid Big Arch promo from the McDonald's CEO
yes.
and the response bite from the Burger King CEO when he did the same thing. So if you were tapped to film a commercial for eating a product, of which you would of these products would you be legitimately more enthusiastic in your commercial to film? Would it be for the Red Lobster bottomless shrimp or for the Golden Corral Sunday buffet?
Oh man. That's such a good question. It's such a good question. Okay, I just got to go with my natural reaction. It's Red Lobster.
Red Lobster. All
Red
right.
Lobster.
Bottomless shrimp.
I mean, because listen, the Corral is kind of up and down. You really don't know, man. You know.
But you could happily take a bite of that shrimp and be legitimate about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what we want to know. The authenticity. The authenticity behind it.
Absolutely.
Okay, final question, number 5. The planet you and your people were born on is about to explode, and your parents are loading you into an escape pod and pointing you towards a new world where you will be your people's only survivor. Of the 2 planets, one is like Earth with a yellow sun and will provide you with super strength and superpowers. The other planet has a blue sun where you will be endowed with super mental acumen. You'll be super smart, super quick-witted, super funny, and super compassionate. Which planet do you hope your parents point you towards?
Oh, man, I want to be Superman, right? Don't you want to be Superman?
I don't know. You could build like a robot shell
what
if
if
you're
I'm?
super smart.
What if you're the smartest person on a planet where you don't want to be? That's not. You'd probably be trying to figure out how you can get to the other planet.
I didn't say it was a bad planet. I just said it had a blue sun.
You might be super smart, but you're still gonna, have a relatively short lifespan. You go to the other planet, you're Superman. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that it?
That's it, man. That's all 5.
All right. That's pick one for this week. That was a good one. Let's take a break, and we'll crack open the On the State file in a moment.
The stock market, economy, tariffs, interest rates. We hear a lot about these topics. But what does it all mean for you as you plan for your future? Join us on Thursday for Money Minutes at 3:45 on Hotline as Huntington Bank's local wealth team cuts through the noise and shares how market conditions are impacting us right here in West Virginia. I'm Matt Harris, a member of the local Huntington Bank wealth team. I invite you to catch Money Minutes Thursday on Hotline for insight that will help you navigate your financial future.
Worried about paying for college? Metro News is proud to present the 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program, where one high school junior in West Virginia will win a full scholarship to West Virginia Wesleyan College, including room, board, tuition, and fees. For details, go to wvmetronews.com and click the Apply Now button. Deadline is May 3rd. The 2026 West Virginia Scholar Program, presented by Greer Industries and the West Virginia Hospital Association. Go to wvmetronews.com and apply today by May 3rd.
Metro News Hotline, presented by Salango Law, will return right after these messages.
When I was heavy, being on my feet all day seemed like torture. Makes you feel defeated. I'm just going to be like this for the rest of my life. But then I thought, I'm done acting like that. I'm not going to be like that anymore. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 265 pounds. It's always been my goal to have my own place. I want everyone to feel welcome here. I would never have been able to do all these things before without WVU Medicine.
New year, new trucks. Start your year off with a new truck from Dan Cava Toyota World. Now lease a 2025 Tacoma for as low as $299 a month. Save over $7,500 off on select Tundras or get 2.99% for 72 months. It's your last chance to get a gas model 2025 RAV4. Don't miss out. Come experience cars you can count on year after year. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the road.
The conversation starts long before the game.
He doesn't do this to other guests, but every time I'm on here, he creates distractions.
Disrespectful.
With his phone. I mean,
I have to have the phone on in case Pete Thamel breaks another story.
Join Tony Caridi, Brad Howe, and Hoppy Kercheval for Three Guys Before the Game. Metro News Television, available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at wvmetronews.com.
The Mountain East Conference men's and women's basketball tournament returns to Wheeling from March 4th through the 8th. Westbanco Arena will serve as the host of one of the nation's premier basketball leagues, featuring one of the highest scoring conferences in America. Action begins on Wednesday, March the 4th, and concludes on Sunday, when 2 champions will be crowned. For advance tickets, go to westbancoarena.com. Visit mountaineast.org for tournament information. The 2026 Mountain East Conference Basketball Championships, presented by the Health Plan.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
It's high school basketball season, and Metro News Television has you covered. Rivalries, buzzer beaters, classic hardwood competition. Watch live and on demand from gyms across the Mountain State. Stream Metro News Television on your iPhone, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, LG TV, and select smart TVs. Or visit MetroNewsTV.com for more information. High school basketball lives here on Metro News Television.
Hi, I'm Chris Lawrence. Make plans to join me at the Mountain State's premier fishing, hunting, and outdoor sports show presented by Can-Am, Saturday and Sunday, March 7th and 8th at Milan Park in Morgantown. Over 200 vendor booths and 100,000 square feet of everything outdoors, all under one roof. Great prizes, seminars, and kids fish for free in the Academy Sports Trout Pond. It's the 24th annual West Virginia Fishing, Hunting, and Outdoor Sports Show, March 7th and 8th at Milan Park in Morgantown. Doors open both days at 9 a.m.
All right, welcome back to the show. About 8 minutes till the hour. Time to get into the On This Date file. Starting with the birthdays and starting with the sports birthdays. Got some pretty good ones today. John the Beast Mugambi. Oh, man, what a fighter. WBC Super Welterweight title holder for a couple of years. 66 years old today. KJ, Kevin Johnson, great player for the Suns. Former mayor of Sacramento, 60 years old today. Draymond Green. The Warriors is 36. Nick Castellanos, former Tiger, former Red, former Philly, current Padre. He's 34 years old. Obi Toppin having a birthday today. He is 28 years old. Ray Boom Boom Mancini is 65 years old. Pride of Youngstown. And Landon Donovan having a birthday today. 44 years old. This is his moment. This is the game-winning goal against Algeria in the World Cup 16 years ago.
Guardiola who plays it deep. Saife with a header. Howard gratefully claims it. Distribution, brilliant. Landon Donovan. There are things on here for the USA. Can they do it here? Crossed, and Dempsey's denied again. And Donovan has scored. Oh, can you believe this? Go, go, USA! Certainly through. Oh, it's incredible. You could not write a script like this.
There you go. Happy birthday, Landon Donovan. 44 years old, Landon Donovan today. Also on this date, 1943, 15th Academy Awards, Best Picture, Mrs. Miniver.
It is a story of youth, too, of young people who hold aloft against the shadow of the present everything that is brightness for the future. Mrs. Miniver is as great in its rich moments of quiet tenderness as in its vivid moments of unbridled terror and sweeping action. You will not soon forget the gallantry of this family of brave and decent people, whose courage is the flaming spirit of a family of brave and decent nations.
There you go. Mrs. Miniver wins Best Picture of the Oscars on this date in 1943. And finally from boxing, Joe Frazier with the TKO of Buster Mathis in 11 rounds for the heavyweight title in 1968.
Listen, you say he surprised you with a tough fight. Yeah, well, I thought maybe he would move a lot, but he really didn't. I want to ask Joe, do you think Mathis won a couple of the early rounds? No. You don't? I don't think he won none of the rounds. None at all, huh? None at all. I took them all from him.
And our musical birthday to the break today, Jason Newsted, former bassist in Metallica, is 63. The 5 things to know at 5 o'clock in sports are coming up next.
Make your head against the stage like I never did before. Make a thing, make a fucking score. There's a frenzy, not just because I understand this fight. It's a bombing all around, it's how it's hot tonight.
This is Hotline, presented by Solango Law on Metro News.
New year, new trucks. Start your year off with a new truck from Dan Cava Toyota World. Now lease a 2025 Tacoma for as low as $299 a month. Save over $7,500 off on select Tundras or get 2.99% for 72 months. It's your last chance to get a gas model 2025 RAV4. Don't miss out. Come experience cars you can count on year after year. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
on the next State of Minds.
I came here to Morgantown, the WVU. I wanted to play football. Tried to walk on, but I was humbled very quickly. So I joined the WVU forestry team. What my father taught me was the importance of hard work and the importance of sweat equity.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Start your new year off right with a new ride from Dan Cava GMC. Come explore our 2026 GMC Acadias. Spacious, smooth, and made for everyday life. It's truly a fan favorite. Drive into winter with a new 2026 GMC Sierra, now up to $12,000 off, or lease as low as $499 a month. So upgrade your ride this year with us at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop Thorough.
When I was heavy, being on my feet all day seemed like torture. Makes you feel defeated. I'm just gonna be like this for the rest of my life. But then I thought, I'm done acting like that. I'm not gonna be like that anymore. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 265 pounds. It's always been my goal to have my own place. I want everyone to feel welcome here. I would never have been able to do all these things before without WVU Medicine.
It's high school basketball season, and Metro News Television has you covered. Rivalries, buzzer beaters, classic hardwood competition. Watch live and on demand from gyms across the Mountain State. Stream Metro News Television on your iPhone, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, LG TV, and select smart TVs. Or visit MetroNewsTV.com for more information. High school basketball lives here on Metro News Television.
Add years of better breathing to your life. For more information, visit copdfoundation.org.
Sports headlines at 5 o'clock. The scheduled baseball game between the Mountaineers and Marshall for Huntington this afternoon called off, canceled because of weather. Lou Holtz has passed away at the age of 89. We'll have more on this story in the 5 o'clock hour. And the New York Giants become the latest team to have spring football practice, fall football practice in the NFL at the Greenbrier. This is Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Hoppy Kercheval, 5:55 a.m. How early did you get in that day, by the way?
Probably 3:30.
How long did you do sign-on shift?
I signed on like 7 years.
Not all.
6 days a week for 7 years.
Lightweight.
I know. Couldn't do it now. Now when I wake up at 3:30 is to go to the bathroom. And go back to bed.
Welcome to the 2 o'clock hour, Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com on a Wednesday, and I apologize because Stephanie Pauly is our producer, one of the producers of the show, and normally she has everything. We have a thing we call the run sheet, where we have who we're calling and what we're doing and so on. And Stephanie, I don't even know whether you know this. I did the run sheet today, and I put the wrong date.
on. I put 2025 on it, because how many of us in modern day actually write the date out anymore? I mean, you did it when you were in school. You did it back when people wrote checks and whatever. This may have been the first day that I have written the date down, and I was responsible for putting together the sheet. And my co-host, the lovely and talented AB, starts the show by saying January 24th, 2025, because she read it directly off the sheet. And it is indeed the year of our Lord, 2026.
Oh, yeah, he did find something out. Sonia, you're related to Thomas Jefferson?
Well, no, I'm not related to Thomas Jefferson, but I am related to Samuel Kercheval, who was a historian.
I'm going to tell you something about Samuel Kercheval. Him and Jefferson out smoking corn silk. Kercheval told him, Thomas, I don't know about this country. Might want to start again.
He could.
So I don't have a monitor here, so I really can't see what happens at the beginning of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So at what point do I pop up? When the music starts and Mr. Announcer comes on?
Yeah.
So they see all the little panic things that I do that I'm still in the process of setting up?
Yes. They see you shuffle about uncomfortably. They see you blow the dust off your headphones. They see you put in like 2 cough drops at the same time.
Oh, yeah. I don't do 2 at the same time. Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't know that. I should probably... Now, these shows are archived, right? So I can go back and watch them.
Yes.
So I could like live this show in real time and then go home and, when I say something to Linda like, hey, did you hear when I did this? And I don't watch it. Well, let's get in front of the TV and watch me do it again for 3 straight hours.
Yes, it's archived just like the audio podcast.
Ah, that's right.
And see, this is the thing that gets the NCAA in trouble. Excuse me. When it goes to court here. Is there a clock or not? Greg, we talk about the clock all the time. Mm-hmm. If he began in 2019, the clock should have run out, whether he's played the 4 years or not. And that's part of the argument, because some guys go right through the clock, right? TJ Finley, we've mentioned many times on this show. 7th team coming up this year. He's playing for Incarnate Word. He's played 7 seasons at 7 different schools. Now, why hasn't his clock started? Why doesn't he have the 5-year clock? So if you're Aguilar, I get it.
He just bouncing him off the ropes. Somebody save this man. Oh, my Lord. Oh. Very nice, very nice. He hit him with everything he didn't want.
Yeah. 10 seconds remaining.
Going to be a direct snap here.
Snap back. It's Tyler. Tyler fakes the run. He throws. He's got an open man. Pass top 10. 5. End zone. It's a touchdown. Pulled in by Nestor. 3 seconds left.
Are you kidding me with the play call right there by Kevin Whiteman? Again, forget the game-winning field goal. Whiteman says, we're going to try and win this thing right now. The direct snap to Tyler sucked everybody up. And Nestor slips behind. What an unbelievable gutsy play call, and then perfect execution by these Falcons.
Things aren't always going to be great. And sometimes, you can work really, really hard and it's still not great. You're still not successful. But, if you continue to do it, one way or another, things are going to be work out. You're going to be successful. And it may not be in the world's eyes, but, God's made us this way. He's blessed us with so many things. And I think that's one of our attributes that we need to have is we're going to continue to work. We're going to continue to work hard. And if it doesn't work out exactly how we want, just keep plugging away because God's got better plans.
This is Metro News Hotline, presented by Salango Law. Metro News Hotline is a 3-hour audio tour, navigating the world of sports, news, entertainment, tech, and more from a Mountain State point of view. Hotline is a no politics zone. You can join the conversation. Text the show at 304-825-5304. 304-TALK-304. Here's the host for Metro News Hotline, Dave Weekley.
All right, welcome back to the show. It is 5:06 in West Virginia. Ready to start the third and final hour of our program today, Metro News Hotline. Thanks so much for tuning in today, folks. I really do appreciate it. We've got a busy hour for you. We'll reset our question of the day, and I think, Coop, we're going to have to react to the Lou Holtz story. So Lou Holtz has passed away at the age of 89. Born in West Virginia, born in Follansbee, spent a short time in our state, grew up primarily in Ohio, great success at Notre Dame and other schools as well. He had not been feeling well. Obviously, he had been moved to hospice a few weeks ago. That was widely known. He has passed away at the age of 89. Well, you know him from coaching football. We know him from talking about football on ESPN. In a little bit, Coop, I just sent you a classic clip of Lou Holtz on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson from 1978. He was a great guest on that show. So we will play some of that. And remember Lou Holtz. And if you want to send me a note about Holtz, your thoughts about the passing of Lou Holtz at the age of 89, go ahead and do that. 304-TALK-304, 304-825-5304, and we'll get to some of those before we leave the air at 6 o'clock. Will Carroll's going to join me in just a moment. Will Carroll is acknowledged as one of the biggest sports injury experts in the country. He's got a great podcast that's just started. You can catch it on YouTube. Injury Territory. It's part of the Foul Territory Network. Comes up once a week, and I'm sure one of the things he's going to be talking about next week is this news that broke today about the Reds' top-of-the-rotation ace, Hunter Greene, having elbow issues. He needs an MRI. He said in comments today that he does not have a tear of the UCL. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, the implications of the injury to Hunter Greene, what it means to the Reds' rotation, what it means to the future, possible time on the DL, the IL. Could he potentially miss the season? We'll get into that in just a little bit. Let me do a quick reset on our question of the day. Question of the day, this weekend we have daylight saving time. And daylight saving time starts this weekend. But in British Columbia, they said they've had enough. They're going to change the daylight saving time this weekend, and then they're going to stay there. So here's the hotline question of the day, and it's sponsored by Salango Law. What's your reaction to this news that British Columbia will permanently adopt daylight saving time starting this weekend? And how do time changes impact your body and your attitude? What's your reaction to British Columbia, BC? They're going to permanently adopt daylight saving time starting this weekend. And how do time changes impact your body and your attitude? We will get into some of your responses in a moment. Also, a little bit later on in this half hour, we'll play in or out. That'll be at 5:25. 5:33, in case you missed it, Tony Caridi, the radio voice of the Mountaineers, was on our show in the 3 o'clock hour. But normally he comes on at 5:33, but today we had to tape him a little early. In case you missed that, we will replay that at 5:33. It goes about 7 minutes, right, Coop? It's about 7 minutes or so?
7 minutes and 50 seconds.
7 minutes and 50 seconds. So we'll talk to Tony about last night's head-scratcher of a basketball loss for the Mountaineers at woeful K-State by 2 points. We'll get his take on that. And he also had some interesting things to say about WVU baseball as well. And if you missed the news update at the top of the hour, the scheduled game between WVU and Marshall that was set for 5 o'clock in Huntington today, that game has been canceled because of the weather. So both those teams are idle until the weekend. Marshall will host St. Bonaventure beginning on Friday. WVU will host Columbia out of the Ivy League starting on Friday. All right. Let me get Will Carroll into the mix. Will, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing good. That was the first I heard of Lou Holtz, so I'm sad about that.
Yeah,
and he was one of those folksy figures that we're just not going to get too much in sports anymore. And well, you didn't always agree with him, and he was certainly old school. He used that as part of his. I mean, it was a shtick, but I mean, when you can go back that far, it's amazing how long ago Johnny Carson was. he's one of a kind and one of a breed we're probably not going to get again.
Yeah, Lou Holtz has passed away at the age of 89. That story is just breaking. All right, let's talk about Hunter Greene. So there were a couple of things about Greene and his right elbow. I think one of the things that was revealed today that we did not know was that he says that he was having problems with that elbow in the final handful of starts he had at the end of last season. My first question to you is, when a major league pitcher has some sort of discomfort like that, what are the options? Surgery, rest? What's your take on it?
Well, it wasn't known last year. And under the knife, I covered that he was struggling a little bit. He just wasn't able to go as deep in games because he was getting some inflammation. They weren't exactly sure of the cause, but they did know that it wasn't ligament related. We found out now that what it is a little bit of irritation due to either a bone spur or bone chips. And those are really the same thing. It's a question of whether it's attached. If you think about a bone spur being just kind of like a blister, your shoe rubs you the wrong way, there's something rubbing on your hand or whatever, you get a blister, and the skin comes up and it's annoying, but it's not a bad thing. Something's annoying his bone, and you got to think it's throwing 100 miles an hour. So it says, you know what, let's put a little more bone right here, which seems like a good idea, but it doesn't really work that way. That spur can stick out. It can get involved into the soft tissue, and it's just like your shoe. When it hurts, you don't want to do things. You can't really numb it up and pitch well. So he struggled through. They went into the offseason. They said, let's work on this. He didn't have a lot of problems with his offseason routines, but as he got going, as he started throwing harder and harder, as you do in spring training, it showed up again. So the MRI that Tim Kremchek did showed no problems with the ligament. It's probably poking in either to the ulnar nerve, which is there, or into the muscle/tendon. So do they have to take care of this? Depends on where it is. The MRI, don't worry about it. You can see bones, bone chips and bone spurs on X-ray, which you can do over and over. It's an instant result. The Reds there, Tim Kremchek's place, have the best of equipment. That place is a palace if you've never been over there. So I'm not that worried about Greene. This is the best possible bad thing you could hear on it.
There you go, Coop. You can come back off the ledge. That sounds like it's actually very, very good news. So if he needs surgery to remove bone chips, what are we looking at in terms of time after the surgery? How long would it take for him to ramp up to get back into the rotation?
It's the ramp that you worry about, because you certainly can't throw while you're recovering from this. It's a very simple surgery. You reach in there, you pull it out. It's kind of like playing the game Operation. If it's a bone spur that's still attached, you basically just shave it off. It's not a difficult surgery. It doesn't take one of these super surgeons to do it, but you'd certainly rather have them do it. With that, I would say about 6 weeks, because he's going to have to ramp back up. He's going to have to get comfortable. And you are going to have to make sure everything in there is okay. The big worry, there was a whole big thing back in like 2007, 2008, with a debate among surgeons about whether you should take bone spurs off, especially in the elbow. There was some thought that maybe this was a protection mechanism. We were seeing spurs coming off and then having Tommy John. It turns out it was coincidental. It was a very small sample. So it's one of those things where if they can get him comfortable, he won't need the surgery. If they can't, then yeah, they will. But is it now or is it next off season? It'd be tough to get him through an entire season where he's struggling and having to go short.
So, one of the criticisms of Greene last year was that he spent too much time away from the club, and they really weren't able to monitor the injury, the groin injury that he was going through. If this had occurred last year when he was in contact with the club, do you think the club would have maybe suggested off-season surgery so we wouldn't be dealing with this now that March has arrived and we're a few weeks away from the season starting?
No, this was a known condition. So this isn't something that he just showed up to camp with. They knew about this. They monitor it, as I said, in his off-season workouts. Didn't have problems because, if he throws 90 miles an hour, if he throws, 80%, 85%, it doesn't cause as much of a problem. You start throwing 100%. That's the problem with almost all pitching injuries. You think, oh, everything's going well. And then you get back up to that 100%, that 105%, as we see pitchers do when they muscle up and try to get that one pitch they need. That's where you see the pain, the inflammation come back, where you see guys completely have to reset their rehab because they've retorn something. So, no, I don't think anything's going to change on Greene. I don't think he was hiding this. I think this is one where they hoped that it would just go away. Honestly, this is one of the things with bone. Chips, they move. It's like a rock in your shoe. Sometimes it's on a spot and you're just like, nope, got to take off my shoe and fix this. Sometimes you're just like, you shift around a little bit, you're fine. You're like, I'll get this in a minute. And that's exactly what it's like inside the elbow.
All right. Well, that sounds like actually pretty good news for the Reds after what we were hearing this morning. And this was pre-MRI. And we heard from Greene that his UCL was not hurt, and that was revealed in the MRI. Hey, before I let you go, and we're talking with Will Carroll, and if you haven't subscribe to his Substack, Under the Knife, what are you waiting for? You can get that. Also, he's got a brand new injury podcast, Injury Territory. It's available, and I'm already subscribed to it. Hey, one of the things I wanted to ask you, Will, is in terms of injuries and trying to deal with the pitchers that are on Team USA in the World Baseball Classic. You addressed that in your most recent podcast.
Yeah. One of the things we have to look at is that they're away from their team. They're away from their normal routine. So there are rules. They're basically handcuffs. And that's one of the things I'm worried about. It's the same for all the other teams because most of them are MLB pitchers or are playing in their respective countries. The ones that are, down a level, there are going to be some pitchers from Czechia or Italy probably that aren't major league pitchers. They're not going to have quite those handcuffs, but they're also not going to be quite as good. One thing I do want to point out on Greene, a lot of people freaked out about him going to see Neil Elitrosh in Los Angeles. The reason for that wasn't that he needed a second opinion. It's that he's very comfortable with him. Again, nothing against Dr. Kremchek, the team doctor. He's great. Neil Elitrosh has treated Greene since he was a kid. He's always gone to him. He did his Tommy John. So you basically want to go to the guy who's been inside your elbow and get that sort of confident boost. This was not something unusual like a consultation with one of the other super surgeons.
All right, got to leave it there. Will, thanks for jumping on with us for a couple of minutes. Really appreciate your opinion on this developing situation with Hunter Greene and the Reds.
Anytime, Dave.
Will Carroll. One quick thing. Hey, global tensions are dominating the headlines, and yes, markets are reacting. Tomorrow at 3:45 on Hotline, Matt Harris from Huntington Bank joins us from Money Minutes. We'll talk about how geopolitics shocks have historically impacted markets, what tends to happen in the short term, and what long-term investors should keep in mind. Get perspective, not panic. Money Minutes from Huntington Bank. That's tomorrow at 3:45 here on Metro News Hotline and 580 WCHS. Let's take a quick break. We're coming back to play in or out in just a moment.
If you have a child who's a junior in high school in West Virginia or know someone that does, please listen up. Here's your opportunity to win a full scholarship from West Virginia Wesleyan College that includes room, board, tuition, and fees. The 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program is presented by ZMM Architects and Engineers and the West Virginia Farm Bureau. The deadline is May 3rd. For details, go to wvmetronews.com to apply. That's wvmetronews.com. Remember, application deadline is May 3rd.
The Mountain East Conference Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament presented by the Health Plan is back at Wheeling's Westbanco Arena, March 4th through the 8th. Past men's basketball national finalists West Liberty and Fairmont State, and 2022 women's basketball national champion Glenville State will be featured from the highest scoring NCAA Division II basketball conference in the country. Visit westbancoarena.com for advanced tickets and Tournament Central at mountaineast.org for tournament information, stories, results, event schedule, streaming, and television broadcast information. Join us for the Mountain East Conference Basketball Championships presented by the Health Plan, March 4th through the 8th at Westbanco Arena in Wheeling.
You can call us at 800-765-8255. Text us at 304-825-5304. Or tweet at WEEKLEY. This is Hotline, presented by Salango Law on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
The Mountain East Conference men's and women's basketball tournament returns to Wheeling from March 4th through the 8th. Westbanco Arena will serve as the host of one of the nation's premier basketball leagues, featuring one of the highest scoring conferences in America. Action begins on Wednesday, March the 4th, and concludes on Sunday, when 2 champions will be crowned. For advance tickets, go to westbancoarena.com. Visit mountaineast.org for tournament information. The 2026 Mountain East Conference Basketball Championships, presented by the Health Plan.
New year, new trucks. Start your year off with a new truck from Dan Cava Toyota World. Now lease a 2025 Tacoma for as low as $299 a month. Save over $7,500 off on select Tundras or get 2.99% for 72 months. It's your last chance to get a gas model 2025 RAV4. Don't miss out. Come experience cars you can count on year after year. Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the road.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
When I was heavy, being on my feet all day seemed like torture. Makes you feel defeated. I'm just going to be like this for the rest of my life. But then I thought, I'm done acting like that. I'm not going to be like that anymore. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 265 pounds. It's always been my goal to have my own place. I want everyone to feel welcome here. I would never have been able to do all these things before without WVU Medicine.
Start your new year off right with a new ride from Dan Cava GMC. Come explore our 2026 GMC Acadias. Drive into winter with a new 2026 GMC Sierra. Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the road.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Touchdown!
All right, welcome back to the show. 5:25. Time to play in or out. Coop, it's a 2-man bobsled.
Yeah,
today,
we're back
right?
to the 2 today.
That's all right. We'll get through it. Every day at this time, we focus on the stuff you talk about at the office. We call it in or out. The setup is simple. We got you 3 categories: food or beverage, gut reaction. Finally, this one's about a celebrity. The topics of which change daily. Let's get started with food or beverage. Are you ready to go?
I think so, yeah.
All right, Johnsonville is launching a new product for grill season, the Johnsonville Dr. Pepper inspired sausage. The idea draws from Dr. Pepper's long history as a marinade and flavoring ingredient for meats. The new sausage, available both fully cooked and uncooked, will get to stores this weekend. So what are you thinking about this? Johnsonville Dr. Pepper sausage. In or out?
What I suspect is that it's better than what I think it is, because you're right. Dr. Pepper, Coke, things like that have been used as some sort of a marinade base for years and years and years, which means it probably tastes fine. My first thought is just looking at a hot dog sitting in like a glass of Dr. Pepper, and that doesn't seem like you're going to use it as a straw. That doesn't seem very attractive to me, but I bet it tastes okay. I guess I'm sort of in.
You know, I got to say, man, I kind of trust both these brands, you know? Johnsonville, I definitely trust. And, man, who doesn't like a Dr. Pepper, right? So I think I'm going to be in on this.
I wonder if they can marinate any of those in the diet Dr. Pepper.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Well, listen, man, if you're eating sausages, you're not worrying about calories,
Yeah, I
right?
guess.
You're not worrying about that. All right, gut reaction is next. How about this? Prince fans are going to gather for a 5-day memorial event marking 10 years since his death. A 5-day celebration of life event has been planned to honor Prince 10 years after his death. The Prince celebration organizers announced the event will run from June 3rd through the 7th across multiple locations in Minneapolis and St. Paul, along with Paisley Park. A 5-day memorial for Prince. In or out?
Man, I'm in. I mean, why not?
Man, I love this idea.
Yeah.
I absolutely love this idea. In fact, you know, maybe we ought to be thinking about some other artists as well. I mean, could you imagine you've got a friend in Minneapolis or whatever, you jet in there and spend a week just going into Prince stuff? I think that would be a fantastic time.
Yeah, and if I lived a life of leisure, that would be outstanding. I mean, seriously, that would be a good time.
I agree. I think that would really be a lot of fun. Now, there are VIP packages, of course, you know. But if you're just like cherry picking the event you wanted to go to, I think that would be a great week.
I mean, what if you went to one and it was like early Prince, like the sleazy early funk stuff, and then you had like the big hits of the 80s, and then like the Prince that found God of the later time. I mean, there'd be a lot of different areas you can go to.
Yeah, they're talking about going to the club where they filmed Purple Rain and having a party there. It sounds like it's a really good time.
Yeah, that does sound like a good time.
Finally, this one's about a celebrity. Oh, no, I didn't see this coming. Sebastian Bach is going to replace Dee Snider as Twisted Sister's frontman for their fall tour this year. Now, supposedly the tour was off because Dee Snider recently retired because of health challenges, but Skid Row's, well, he's not in Skid Row anymore, hasn't been for years. Sebastian Bach is stepping in. The show must go on. Sebastian Bach, in or out? Sebastian Bach.
First, the guy was spectacularly fired from Skid Row, if I remember correctly, back in the day. I mean, despite the fact that he was Skid Row, you know, the band was like, man, we would rather not be a thing than for you to be the thing that we were known for. I mean, that's pretty bad when when your central casting band behind you is like, son, you gotta step off. And then years later, after he was kicked out of all the bands that he was in and stuff, he became a Broadway star, and he was kicked out of a Broadway production for being a diva. Yeah, this cat sounds like bad news. I'm out.
Oh, no way. I'm totally in on Sebastian Bach.
I know his turn on the Gilmore Girls
that's part of it.
This guy's you love people with terrible character.
But you know what? I like Sebastian Bach. I remember seeing him when they rocked the Civic Center when they opened for Bon Jovi. Okay, I want to say that's the before times, like maybe 90, 89.
I think I might have been to that show, actually.
Okay, and I remember he played another show. I thought for sure that Skid Row opened for Def Leppard in like 86 or 87 here in town. I could be wrong about that.
He opened for Aerosmith when they were here in the early 90s.
Oh, I can't remember that.
It was one of those bands. I can't remember.
But anyway, Skid Row rocked the house.
Yeah.
Rocked the house and made some funky headlines if you go back to that time. In on Sebastian Bach. All right, let's take a break. Our visit with Tony Caridi is next. This is Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
This is Hotline, presented by Salango Law on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Morgan Pemberton. Legislation that aims to help improve work zone safety along the state's highways is making its way to the Senate after the House unanimously approved it today. The bill would increase fines for individuals going 15 miles an hour or less over the speed limit and increase the fines for those who go 15 miles an hour or over the speed limit. West Virginia Contractors Association President and CEO Jason Pizzatella.
On the first offense, it goes from $250 to $500. and then the second and subsequent offenses go to $1,000.
Pisatella stated this bill is the second part of a three-part strategy. Third part is to utilize technology to assist in enforcing traffic laws in those work zones. Also in the House today, they passed a centerpiece of its Jobs First Opportunity Everywhere agenda. The legislation creates an initiative called Team West Virginia, and it's meant to drive a cohesive strategy for site development, partnerships, and business growth. Harrison County Delegate Clay Riley says this initiative is a new and additional way to recruit businesses to West Virginia.
It allows us to move quicker. It doesn't really change the incentives because those still have to come back approved by the government. So this corporate cronyism that you hear about isn't expanded. It's a restructuring so that we can be more nimble and more effective when we're really trying to diversify our economy.
You can read more at wvmetronews.com. You're listening to Metro News. For 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.
Planning your financial future doesn't have to be overwhelming. Huntington Bank is here to help. I'm Shelley Hustle, part of your local Huntington Wealth team right here in West Virginia. We work with people just like you to create smart strategies for life's big moments and market uncertainty. Tune in for Money Minutes this Thursday at 3:45 on Hotline, where we'll discuss the week's top financial trends and what they mean for you. Catch Money Minutes Thursday at 3:45 on Metro News Hotline.
Welcome to Biscuit Country, where joy is measured one ladle at a time, where smiles come with a side of gravy, warming the soul. Start your morning at Tudor's Biscuit World with our super breakfast, or dig into the Big Tater, crispy potatoes topped with eggs and bacon, then crowned with savory gravy. And don't forget the classic, gravy over a biscuit. Welcome to Biscuit Country, where at Tudor's, you're always home.
The state Senate passing a bill today related to adult cabaret performances. The legislation would criminalize those performances on public property or anywhere a minor could view them. Marion County Senator Joey Garcia voted against it.
People think about how they dress often as expression. And, it seems like this is a bill really, it's been portrayed as trying to protect children. In reality, I think it's more about judgment.
From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Morgan Pemberton.
It's 2 hours of sports conversation to wrap up your weekend. It's the CityNet Sunday Night Sports Line. Hey, this is Travis Jones. Join myself and Greg Hunter every Sunday night from 6:06 until 8 o'clock as we wrap up the sports weekend. We talk Mountaineers, high school, Mountain East Conference, and the latest in the national scene. The Sunday Sports Line is listener interactive. You can call or text the show at 304-TALK-304. It's a perfect weekend sports wrap-up on your favorite Metro News affiliate. Or watch the show at wvmetronews.com.
All right, welcome back. 26 till the hour. We'll hear from Tony Caridi in just a moment. This is a conversation that took place early in the 3 o'clock hour regarding WVU's basketball loss last night at K-State. And a couple thoughts about WVU baseball as well. We're going to get to that in a minute. But the big story that's breaking right now in the last hour or so is that Lou Holtz, the legendary college football coach, has passed away at the age of 89. Lou Holtz was born in Follinsby. He didn't spend too much time in West Virginia, but moved on and has passed away in Orlando and was surrounded by his family. There is a long statement made by his family, and Notre Dame, of course, is reacting. Holtz, what a record. I mean, 249 wins, 132 losses, 7 ties. He was the head coach at 6 different schools, William and Mary, NC State, Arkansas, Minnesota, Notre Dame, and then finished his career at South Carolina. He was briefly with the Jets, one season back in 1976. I think, we'll remember him in West Virginia as the coach of the Irish when Notre Dame beat WVU in the Fiesta Bowl in 1988. One of the other things I'll always remember about Lou Holtz, Coop, was 1978. He was a coach at Arkansas, and there was an incident at Arkansas. Some players were caught with a female student. And so right before the Orange Bowl, he suspended both of his top running backs and his number 1 wide receiver. And they were almost 4 underdogs to Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl. They crushed the Sooners in that game, 31-6. And that got my attention. That I remember thinking about that. How many coaches would have really done that back in those days? I mean, it was 1978, but he did. Lou Holtz spent years on ESPN as a college football analyst. So Lou Holtz has passed away at the age of 89. One of the things about Lou Holtz that you might not have remembered from his final years on television, he was a fantastic talk show guest. So let's just flash back very briefly to one of his appearances on The Tonight Show in that year where he was at Arkansas in 1978. There you go. There you go. Lou Holtz on The Tonight Show in 1978. Lou Holtz has passed away at the age of 89. All right, here's our conversation from earlier today with Tony Caridi talking, obviously, about what happened to Mountaineer basketball last night at K-State. Tony Caridi joins me now. Oh, man, talking about the body, how it affects your body and attitude. How was your body and attitude coming back from the game last night, Tony?
That one left a mark both physically and mentally. Got in about 3:30 to the Coliseum. So long day. As you well know, Dave, when you win, long travel, you don't even notice it. When you lose, you go like, "Oh, this is no fun."
Hey, I was telling Coop earlier in the hour, I don't know how you felt about it, but I kind of felt like if that game had gone one more minute, West Virginia was going to win that game.
Oh, yeah. It was. I was there thinking the same thing, Dave. But the reality of it is West Virginia, they shot themselves, and the shot that allowed them to get up 19 points took them out of that game. So it would have been an incredible story to come back from that deficit. But at the same time, you would have stole it if you won that game last night.
Yeah, no question. Now, West Virginia did get to the point at the end of the game where it was a one-possession game. Hey, tell me, what was, from your perspective, when did you hear that Haggerty wasn't going to play? What was the reasoning behind that? Why didn't he play last night?
Started to hear it when we were over there for shoot-around that he might not go. And then once we got there, they said that he wasn't going to go. He's been dealing with some sort of thing near his elbow, on the above his elbow, and had been wearing a sleeve apparently of late, and so he couldn't go last night, and they weren't sure about him for Saturday at Kansas. I don't know. There's one way to say, okay, he's hurting. There's another way with West Virginia's pretty good defensively. Kansas may not be his two best games, and obviously he'll be shopping himself. Again, in all likelihood, people looking at him, and so maybe it's a little bit of both.
So, West Virginia's play against BYU last weekend, in light of what happened last night, was that fool's gold against BYU, considering what happened to BYU last night when they played Cincinnati?
Dave, I don't know if it's fool's gold, but here's kind of what I'm thinking. We've played 17 games. We've got one left. And you are what you are. And I think what this West Virginia team is this year is it's offensively challenged, and it has an incredibly thin margin for error to determine win or loss. And when one of those goes askew, then you're putting yourself behind, right? And so you take a look at the BYU game, and that was one in which West Virginia offensively played above its average, made shots. And they normally do guard well, right? We went into the game last night, top 10 in the country in scoring defense. So that was why you got the plus. Last night, you saw the below-average offensive performance, which is incredibly frustrating, and you did not defend as well as you normally do, obviously, in that second half when McGriff continued to be able to score down inside. And so you had that thin margin, and you did not live up to your end of the bargain, and that's why you got behind. That's why eventually you lost the game.
Chance Moore had a good game last night for West Virginia. He had 18 points, led the team. Were you surprised when he didn't come out and start the second half?
No. Ross hasn't done that yet this year. He's going to stay with who he stays. And his reasoning is that you put your five out, and you want, when you make a substitution, you want it to be a catalyst. You want it to be a spark. And quite honestly, there aren't many bullets on that bench offensively for West Virginia, so I think he likes to have him come in there and provide a spark, which he has and which he did.
All right, so one more regular season game. It's against UCF, and barring some sort of unseen thing, this will be the last time that this group will play in the Coliseum. The fans packed it out last week. What do you think will be happening on Friday night?
It's a good question. It's easier, obviously, to get here on a Saturday than it is a Friday, but as of yesterday, I heard that there were about 300 tickets left.
Wow.
So if the student section wants to, use this as their appetizer before they go out on Friday night, it would be great to get them in there. And, and then this is crazy in this era of basketball that we're in, that we're saying goodbye to these seniors because, they've been here for 1 year. And at the same time, though, I think that personally, I'm always going to really, really like these guys. Were they the best team in all time in school history? No, they weren't. But to me, they were one of the best, if not the best, just being constantly professional and no drama on the floor or off the floor all season long. And obviously I travel with them, just a really super good group. And so I respect them. They'll be remembered as Ross's first class. And, I hope they do well. As you know, Dave, last night we had 6 games in the league, and 5 of those had surprising results. And so anything can happen tomorrow. Anything can happen in Kansas City next week, and just keep your fingers crossed that they could go out on a positive vibe.
Hey, Tony Caridi joins me for just a couple more moments. Tony, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask your take on the Chase Meyer situation. West Virginia's best pitcher from last year's off the team. WVU plays at Marshall today at 5:00. For Steve Sabins, last year he took over the team and they went to the Super Regionals, had a really fantastic year. And in the win-loss record at this point of the season is very good. How do you think Steve Sabins is going to handle this controversy around one of the best players on the team leaving the squad?
One thing, I think the game's canceled, Dave.
It is?
An email that I think the game got canceled.
I didn't know that.
Because of it. That's okay. But how does he handle it going forward? I think this. Obviously, he solely made this call. So there was something there that he said, hey, this is against our rules. This is against of what we are or who we want to be, whether that be, culturally or whatever it might be. And while it is extremely rare that you have a player sent away from the team, and while it's extremely rare that the player is a high-profile player, there are times when coaches have to make this incredibly difficult decision looking forward, going, what's the best overall for the program? The thing that I would, look back on, and you'll remember this, is when John Beilein, early in his career, I think it was year 2, just like Steve, he sent Drew Schifino off of the team.
Right.
And at that time, Drew was a legitimate big-time scorer, and he said, hey, you got to follow my rules, and if you don't, regardless of who you are, it's not going to work. And, West Virginia basketball, continued to move on, and that group continued to grow. And so I wouldn't be totally surprised if this isn't one of those types of moves. It's, I said this, and we're going to stay to it. And if you don't, as a coach, and the other players see that, then you lose your credibility, and that's the worst thing that could ever happen.
All right, Tony, thanks for your time today. I do appreciate it. Talk to you next week. There you go, Tony Caridi on the Mountaineers basketball loss last night at K-State. All right, what's going on at the West Virginia legislature? Jeff Jenkins has today's edition of the Capitol Report.
This is the Metro News Capitol Report, brought to you by AARP West Virginia. AARP is your ally for real possibilities in the Mountain State. Connect on social media at AARP West Virginia and learn more at aarp.org/WV. Today's report in 60 seconds.
AARP is your wise friend and fierce defender as you age. Life changes fast, and so do the challenges. Scams are getting more sophisticated, and caring for loved ones can feel overwhelming. That's why AARP is here. We're working to help you protect your hard-earned money, sharing tips and tools to help you spot frauds and scams. Every day we're supporting family caregivers and fighting for things like expanded affordable high-speed internet service and ensuring access to home and community-based services that are so critical to family caregivers. With 250,000 members in communities throughout the Mountain State, AARP is your trusted advocate at the state capitol and beyond, fighting for policies that make life better for older adults and their families. Everyone in the Mountain State needs someone in their corner. That someone is AARP. For more information, connect with us on social media at AARP West Virginia or find us online at aarp.org/WV.
Crossover Day coming to a close. The state Senate finished up first today, but not before passing bills on cabaret and indecent exposure. The House of Delegates had a lot more bills to deal with on its agenda. The House passed a bill that would raise fines in highway work zones. It's supported by the Contractors Association of West Virginia, but CEO Jason Pizzatella says one of these years he would like to get approval to get cameras in work zones.
Using new technology, whether it's cameras or other type of innovative way for our law enforcement officers to enforce the posted speed limits.
The House approved a bill this afternoon stepping down the severance tax on met coal to help met coal operators who have lost business on the global market in the last several months. Ohio County Delegate Sean Fluharty says the blame needs to go squarely to the White House and the one who occupies the Oval Office.
We, in 2023, represented 46% of total U.S. met coal production. And where does that go? It goes to China. And since the tariffs were implemented, China has said no thanks. We're not going to purchase from West Virginia.
Supporters argue the loss of business is because of competition from Australia. The session ends a week from Saturday. I'm Jeff Jenkins on Metro News. For 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.
Starting March 10th, Metro News brings you the 2026 West Virginia SSAC High School Basketball Championships presented by Chick-fil-A.
First title for Spring Mills and boys basketball.
The best teams in the state will once again meet at the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center to compete for the title in their respective classes. The girls' tournament runs March 10th through 14th. The boys play March 17th through the 21st. Catch all the games on the Metro News Radio Network and at WVMetroNews.com, where you'll also find up-to-the-minute scoring, stats, and brackets, the latest tournament news, and game recaps. Also, you can watch the live HD video streams of the class championships both Saturdays on Metro News Television.
The luck and skill of the Irish, they win the AA championship.
The 2026 West Virginia SSAC State High School Basketball Championships beginning March 10th, presented by Chick-fil-A, exclusively on Metro News, the voice of high school basketball in West Virginia. This is Hotline, presented by Salango Law on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
When I was heavy, being on my feet all day seemed like torture. Makes you feel defeated. I'm just going to be like this for the rest of my life. But then I thought, I'm done acting like that. I'm not going to be like that anymore. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 265 pounds. It's always been my goal to have my own place. I want everyone to feel welcome here. I would never have been able to do all these things before without WVU Medicine.
New year, new trucks. Start your year off with a new truck from Dan Cava Toyota World. Now lease a 2025 Tacoma for as low as $299 a month. Save over $7,500 off on select Tundras or get 2.99% for 72 months. It's your last chance to get a gas model 2025 RAV4. Don't miss out. Come experience cars you can count on year after year. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the road.
You want to know what West Virginia is talking about?
It's good to be back in Morgantown today.
Now it's different.
I think it's mostly just business.
What I voted for and what I think makes the most sense.
Well, Dave, this has been a bit of a controversy.
I want to thank the caller last week that said I sounded like Hoppy Kercheval. That was flattering.
Join Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows Monday through Friday for Talk Line on Metro News Television.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
The Mountain East Conference men's and women's basketball tournament returns to Wheeling from March 4th through the 8th. Westbanco Arena will serve as the host of one of the nation's premier basketball leagues, featuring one of the highest scoring conferences in America. Action begins on Wednesday, March the 4th, and concludes on Sunday, when 2 champions will be crowned. For advance tickets, go to westbancoarena.com. Visit mountaineast.org for tournament information. The 2026 Mountain East Conference Basketball Championships, presented by the Health Plan. Hi, I'm Chris Lawrence. Make plans to join me at the Mountain States premier fishing, hunting, and outdoor sports show presented by Can-Am, Saturday and Sunday, March 7th and 8th at Milan Park in Morgantown. Over 200 vendor booths and 100,000 square feet of everything outdoors, all under one roof. Great prizes, seminars, and kids fish for free in the Academy Sports Trout Pond. It's the 24th annual West Virginia Fishing, Hunting, and Outdoor Sports Show, March 7th and 8th at Milan Park in Morgantown. Doors open both days at 9 a.m.
All right, relatively short segment here. You know, we had to cover the breaking news with Lou Holtz passing away this afternoon at the age of 89 and some of the other things that we've been up to today. The Sun Belt Conference Women's Basketball Tournament has started today in Pensacola, and Marshall is the number 5 seed. They will play a 4th-round game on Friday. So a couple of things have to happen before Marshall knows their opponent. One of the games today, South Alabama beat Coastal Carolina 80-70, but the big story in this game was a brawl that broke out in the 4th quarter of this game that involved 8 different players getting ejected, and a referee was knocked to the ground and knocked out cold. I don't think I've ever seen that before. There were 6 minutes left in the game when South Alabama and Coastal Carolina got in a fight literally under the basket, and it was on. It was absolutely – it was on. 2 referees, multiple teammates, staff members quickly worked to separate the women, and the referee who was knocked to the ground in this melee, she appeared to be hit in the head or the neck and was knocked out cold and had to be taken to the hospital. So many of these players who were ejected, well, I'm guessing all will be who were ejected will be suspended for a game according to NCAA rules, and that could have a big effect on this tournament going forward. So they're repeating at the SBC Sun Belt Conference Women's Basketball Tournament this afternoon in Pensacola. South Alabama, Coastal Carolina, USA won the game 80-70, but 8 players were ejected, and a referee was knocked to the ground and had to go to the hospital. So we'll see what happens. Marshall, as I said, they don't play a 4th-round game until Friday. All right, we'll take a break and come back and wrap it up for the day in a moment.
Being blind doesn't always look how others may think.
Retinitis pigmentosa aimed to overwhelm my family.
It tried to cut me down.
I know where to find support and where I can be seen.
Innovative research, educational resources, supportive community. The Foundation Fighting Blindness is leading the charge in finding treatments and cures for blinding diseases. Learn more at fightingblindness.org. A public service message from the Foundation Fighting Blindness.
Every day, we fight to preserve magnificent places and wildlife, to keep our water and air safe, and to advance clean energy and combat climate change. We're Earth Justice, a national legal nonprofit fighting for your right to a healthy environment. We're Earth Justice, and we're here because the Earth needs a good lawyer. No one fights and wins more cases on the environment than we do. Want to join us in this fight? The time is now. Go to earthjustice.org today. That's earthjustice.org.
Need a break from the headlines and mindless drivel? Metro News Hotline brings you that much-needed afternoon distraction, but with substance. My decades in journalism, plus a passion for everything from baseball nostalgia to the latest tech trends, mean insights you won't get anywhere else. Coop brings the pop culture know-how and good-natured ribbing, while your calls take things in surprising directions. Tune in for the lively chats that are refreshingly different. Find us from 3 to 6 weekdays on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I was proud to be a soldier.
I told the truth and got kicked out.
And so I thought to myself, I'm taking this rule down.
If you're an LGBTQ plus veteran, your memories are important too. Share your story with the Library of Congress Veterans History Project, where firsthand accounts from U.S. military veterans are preserved and made accessible for researchers and future generations. Visit loc.gov/vets to submit your stories, photographs, and documents today.
Veterans, plan ahead to ensure your loved ones are protected at the end of your life. Include a copy of your discharge papers with your will. Apply for VA life insurance. Write your healthcare decisions in a living will. Review survivor's benefits. Explore VA burial options with a pre-need application. Don't wait. Visit va.gov/plan-ahead to learn more.
What's on your to-do list? Check your mail? Get groceries? How about getting your annual vaccines? We can help you check that off.
You've got this.
Yes, you do. Because we've got you. With local vaccine events and access to transportation, protecting yourself and your loved ones is not a chore anymore.
You've got this.
A message from the Aging and Disability Vaccination Collaborative, powered by U.S. Aging. Funded by the U.S. Administration for Community Living through a grant to U.S. Aging. Learn more at yougotthis.usaging.org.
Children are the greatest joy and our best hope for a better future. Friends, they are the future. But did you know that millions of kids are facing hunger every day? Food is not just food. It's energy, health, confidence, hope, and even love. Yes, love.
Thank you!
Learn more about how No Kid Hungry is helping end child hunger in America at helpnokidhungry.org.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for the show today. We thank you so much for listening and sending your answers to our question of the day and more. Stay tuned for the news at the top of the hour. Sportsline is on the other side. And don't forget, there's 2 hours of high school Sportsline tonight, beginning at 7 o'clock. My name's Dave Weekley. I will talk to you tomorrow, beginning at 3:06, right here on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Hotline on the Metro News Network is presented by Salango Law, salangolaw.com. Hear Hotline weekdays from 3 until 6 on this Metro News station or wvmetronews.com. Visit the site or your favorite podcast service for past shows and features. This has been Hotline, presented by Salango Law on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.